Karnataka election heat picks up.
They are sidelining a major community like Lingaites.
Congress floats Lingayat versus Brahmin narrative.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಈಗಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗತಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಯಿತು.
BJP hits back, calls Congress Casteist. Saffron Netas now push for a Lingayat CM. New twist in Karnataka's vote bank politics. Top focus on 6:30 p.m. with Nabila Jamal.
A very good evening. You're watching India Today, State of War, Karnataka. I'm Nabila Jamal and I'm standing at a very stunning location right here on Lavelle Road, the Caste restaurant, right at the rooftop where you get to see the entire landscape of Bangalore city. This is largely the football stadium that you can see at one corner there. And Vidhan Sauda right at the back, right at that far end, and towards the right, all the iconic buildings, including UB City, the towers there, which constitutes of basically Bangalore Central. The powerhouse, that's the Vidhan Sauda that you see, the power center rather. Bangalore City right now, in fact, at this point is heated up to such an extent where you have all politicians now in the city trying to face off with one another as they file their nominations. Today is the last day, and it seems like a very interesting development coming in, and this is a big breaking that we are tracking this hour. DK Suresh has now decided to nominate himself for the Kanakpura Assembly constituency. India Today tracking this development here comes in right at a time when DK Shivakumar has fielded, or rather DK Shivakumar himself has filed a nomination for the Kanakpura constituency, and while he does that, a few days later, DK Suresh's brother, who's already an MP from the Bangalore rural constituency, he is now filed his nomination from Kanakpura. So there's a lot of speculation on what was the reason to why DK Suresh has done this. What we hear now is that the returning officer, the DC's office, basically has the powers to suspend or dismiss the nomination of DK Shivakumar, because at this point what we know is DK Shivakumar has multiple cases against him, including that of the IT, the ED, the CBI. Several cases of money laundering as well as disproportionate assets case. There's a lot of investigation that's been on for so many years now. The cases have not been concluded. But considering that he's now mired with these cases and there's allegations of such nature on him, the DC, the returning officer, very much in his capacity has the right to suspend or dismiss the nomination of DK Shivakumar. And it appears, just as a safety net and to ensure some kind of backup, DK Shivakumar has fielded his own brother, DK Suresh, like I stressed, who's already an MP from the Bangalore rural constituency. He is now filed his nomination today, considering it's the last date of nomination in the Kanakpura constituency. And they claim that this is a tactic of the BJP to try in every way suppress DK Shivakumar and his candidacy. Let's have a listen. DK Suresh, who spoke.
ಕನಕಪುರದಿಂದ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಮತ್ತು AICC ಮುಖಂಡರ ಸೂಚನೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಜಾಗ್ರತಾ ಕ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ನಾಮಪತ್ರವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಕನಕಪುರದಿಂದ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಮತ್ತು AICC ಮುಖಂಡರ ಸೂಚನೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಜಾಗ್ರತಾ ಕ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ನಾಮಪತ್ರವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
Well, you heard DK Suresh saying that this is deliberate targeting on DK Shivakumar, and which is why he's filed his nomination as backup. 24th April is the last date for any of the candidates to withdraw their nomination. So in the meanwhile, if at all DK Shivakumar's nomination is suspended, then it appears DK Suresh now will be contesting the Kanakpura Assembly. A lot of developments happening. While I'm going to cut to my next breaking here, Siddaramaiah, former Chief Minister, the Congress biggie there, has made some startling allegations against the BJP, claiming that the BJP has sidelined the Lingayat community and has now in fact the Congress now floating this Lingayats versus Brahmin debate in the state of Karnataka ahead of elections. They're saying that the Brahmins are trying to, the BJP, which is full of Brahmins, they're trying to suppress the Lingayat community. They're insulting the Lingayat community. They're pushing out many of the Lingayat leaders from their party. And this is a deliberate attempt to sideline the community. Siddaramaiah claiming, or rather accusing the centre and Prime Minister Modi of ignoring Karnataka and playing caste-based politics. I'm going to cut across Siddaramaiah as he made this statement ahead of elections here.
Lingayat leaders are being sidelined in the BJP. Lingayat leaders.
Then what? Yediyurappa has been removed from the chief ministership. Vijayendra has not been made as a minister. And now Jagdish Shettar has been denied a ticket. And Lakshman Saudi has denied a ticket. What does it mean? What does it mean? They are sidelining a major community like Lingayats.
Well, that's the huge allegation that Siddaramaiah has made. But at the end of it, the BJP, of course, refusing it. Because what's the truth here? Lingayat Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai has been projected already as a CM face even for the upcoming elections. It hasn't been categorically said by the BJP leadership. But so far, we've heard Basuraj Bommai as the Chief Minister saying that he is the CM face. So now it appears, while the Congress floats this narrative of Lingayat versus Brahmins, of the BJP trying to corner the Lingayat community. Here, several of the BJP netas internally are now pushing for the BJP leadership, senior leadership, to wholeheartedly announce a Lingayat face as their chief minister. This is a big push coming in from several of the saffron netas there. In fact, many of them, including Renuka Charya, a close aide of B.S. Yediyurappa himself, has spoken on the same lines. We also heard Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai himself accepting this morning that the BJP had come to a huddle to try and discuss or combat this narrative that the Congress is floating, saying the BJP is now anti-Lingayats. And for that, the best way to counter it is for the BJP to announce a Lingayat CM face. In fact, Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai spoke to the media right this morning, along with Prahlad Joshi, who condemned the Congress for spreading false narratives and also saying it's indeed the Congress who so long, for as many years, played the caste-based politics. Listen in.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಈಗಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗತಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಯಿತು. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಏನು ಅಪಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಲಹೆಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಧರ್ಮೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಧಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದರು. ಅವರು ನಾವು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವೀರಶೈವ ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಂಗಡದವರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದಿನ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ನಾಯಕರು ವೀರಶೈವ ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಭಾವನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
लिंगायत जो है हर वर्ग का वोट, हर वर्ग के लोग हमारे साथ हैं, लिंगायत भी हमारे साथ है. और कैसे कांग्रेस को लोग भूल सकते हैं जिसने पाटिल जी का, वीरेंद्र पाटिल जी का अपमान किया था. कांग्रेस को जातियों की राजनीति करती है. हम लोग सबका साथ सबका विकास के आधार पर राजनीति करते हैं और उसी की दिशा पे काम भी करते हैं. सभी वर्गों का व्यापक समर्थन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में है. आपने देखा जब इंटरनल रिजर्वेशन, अभी लिंगायत को 2% का रिजर्वेशन बढ़ाया गया, मुस्लिम से 4% हटा करके 2% लिंगायत को, 2% ओखलीगा को, सभी स्वामी जी पंचमसाली से लेकर के सभी स्वामी जी ने उसकी तारीफ भी किया.
In Shimoga district and Shikaripura taluk, almost important works, that is particularly irrigation and other projects we have completed. We have not left any important work. So people are happy about our performance. Naturally, that will help to the Vijayendra to get more than 50,000 margin votes.
So still some unrest in the Banjara groups and all. How do
everything has been solved, and more than 400 Banjara leaders 3-4 days back they come and discussed with me, and all other communities are going to support, including Banjara community.
All right, Nabi, quickly cut across to KS Ishwarappa. There's much development that's coming in from Shimoga itself. As we know that KS Ishwarappa's son Casteist has now been denied a ticket. This is the message that we get here, that Saffron Party man, a man who's worked his way ground up, Channapatna, who's also a close aide of Ishwarappa, is believed to have got the ticket here. Casteist was really hectically lobbying for a ticket from Shimoga. In fact, there was a lot of talk and clamour that Ishwarappa was asked to step down and step aside only because he was almost assured that Casteist would get a ticket from the Shimoga constituency. Again, this was all hearsay. There was a lot of speculation around it, and so Ishwarappa even expected that to turn out and really pan out that way. But it appears that the BJP has denied Ishwarappa's son a ticket, and Channapatna, who's also said to be Ishwarappa's close aide, has now got a ticket from Shimoga. Now we see that Channapatna is a man who's worked his way. He's a municipal corporation guy. He's managed to bag this ticket, as Shimoga is also known to be a BJP bastion. Listen in.
सर, कल जो ने बीजेपी ने अनाउंस किया था उसमें बहुत लोगों का उम्मीद था कि आपका फैमिली मेंबर्स को टिकट मिलेगा, क्योंकि आपके बेटे ने भी येडियुरप्पा को मीट किया था, उन्होंने बात किया था, और उसके अलावा रिपोर्ट भी था कि आपका बहू नहीं तो आपके बेटे को टिकट मिलेगा। आप खुश है इस अनाउंस पे?
सभी खत्म हो गया। अभी भाजपा का टिकट हमारा युवा नेता चन्नापसप्पा को मिला है। सिर्फ हमारा एक ही एम है, चन्नापसप्पा की जीता, बीजेपी का जीताना। वो पहले का सभी खत्म हो गया, उसके बारे में मैं चर्चा नहीं करूंगा।
तो बुरा नहीं लग रहा है सर, क्योंकि आपका बेटे ने
छोड़ दो, वो छोड़ दो, उसके बारे में हम चिंता ही नहीं करेगा, चर्चा भी नहीं करेगा।
All right, finally, I'm going to cut to my ground report as the election season heating up in the state of Karnataka. A few high-profile constituencies that we thought worth highlighting here on India Today. One of that is Channapatna. Why Channapatna at this point is important is because we have former Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy, who is contesting from that constituency. He won the previous round, but this time it appears that BJP's C.P. Yogeshwar seems to have quite some clout in the area. C.P. Yogeshwar has worked extensively in the area. He was already the MLA before H.D. Kumaraswamy. He lost the last time, but hopes to come back this time with basic groundwork that he's done. Some lakes that he's rejuvenated, and it appears that people of Channapatna seem to be quite happy and positive towards the BJP candidate this time. So what are the real prospects for H.D. Kumaraswamy is a big question mark. Only elections will tell. Have a look. The true nature of Channapatna is reflected through its toys. The Channapatna toys is certainly the world's famous form of toys, which are all wooden carved. And I've been told that this one doll, for example, 3 men get to work to make it. So that's all the way from carving the wood in its raw form and then painting it, another person, and then actually fine-tuning it with design the eyes and, you know, the nose and the delicate carvings, the third person. That's the kind of employment it generates for people here, where almost 5,000 families rely on this Channapatna doll carvings and selling it, export, all of that. This is a thriving business here. You see, this entire set here is really reflective of the people of Channapatna. Farming, pottery, agriculture. It's a lovely town. Ahead of elections, what's really the mood here? I'm going to take you through. The households here in the vicinity are really benefiting from the water body here, which is supposed to be developed by C.P. Yogeshwar. Ee kere yen yav tara lavya nimge?
ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ದನಗಳಿಗೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ದನಗಳು ಮೈ ತೊಳಿತೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೌಕರ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
All for washing purpose of cattle, clothes. Nimge? Okay. What do you want for Channapatna now?
Channapatna, you should improve all villagers, human beings, and children also.
Okay. Better quality of life.
Better quality of life and improve all the human beings' lives, their lives.
Mr. Yogeshwar, HD Kumaraswamy, is it a tough fight or an easy fight this time? We know you lost against him last time, but somehow the mood seems to have turned here.
I can't say it's an easy fight. It's a tough fight because he was a ex-CM of Karnataka. But after that, he is not much popular here now because he has neglected his constituency. So this time I am going to win the election.
Yeah, you have done some really great work. In fact, we spotted many lakes that have been rejuvenated and villagers say that that's benefited them immensely. Can you tell us how have you done it? You know, it's really something that we would like to see all over the country if it is possible.
No, this is the lift irrigation project. We lift the water from the Kaveri river. So earlier it was the drought area.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 35 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 45 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 34 and minimum 27 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 26 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 40 and minimum 27 degrees.
Co-powered by Max Life Insurance. You are the difference. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
Hello and welcome to our special segment on IPL 2023, Lights, Camera and Cricket with me, Nikhil Naz. Let's focus on the game that is coming up a little later in the day. Remember, this is the first weekday of this IPL where we're getting to see a double header. This one, which is the second match of the day, featuring Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders. A crucial game for Kolkata considering that they've lost their previous two encounters and they don't want to be falling back in that playoff race. However, the bigger question is from the side of the Delhi Capitals. The only team that has yet to register a win in this tournament. Will today be the day? Let's take a closer look.
One team is at the bottom of the pile in IPL 2023. The other is losing momentum. Delhi Capitals versus Kolkata Knight Riders is an encounter between two unpredictable teams. Both are coming off losses in their previous games. However, DC have bigger issues than KKR. The batting has been a problem. Warner may have scored runs, but his strike rate has been low. Mitchell Marsh, in addition to the middle over, has struggled in a big way. After the RCB match, Warner said batting is a key area of improvement.
The positives were great with the bowling and the fielding were exceptional. I said that to the guys early on in the timeout that our energy and attitude was absolutely amazing. But yet again, it's just our batting. We're going to have to try and work out how we're going to take on the power play and not lose early wickets, especially in the first 2 or 3 overs. That's going to hurt you a lot of games.
With the top order misfiring, Aksar has once again been the best batter. But DC have not been helped by Kuldeep's inconsistency. Plus Nortje bowling well only in patches. At the other end, KKR's batting has been much better. Venkatesh Iyer ended the team's 5,000 plus day century drought with one against Mumbai Indians. He has had support from Rinku Singh, who has impressed. But apart from Iyer and Rinku, KKR have struggled. The openers have not fired. Russell has had low impact with the bat. The fragile top order has been KKR's undoing.
Still on it straight up in the air, very, very high, but the catch is taken.
KKR spinners have been the team's saving grace. Surya Sharma and Varun Chakravarti have delivered the goods. But the rest of the bowling has underperformed.
And gone a long way.
मैं अपनी बॉलिंग यूनिट से चाहूँगा थोड़ा बहुत डिलीवर करके दें क्योंकि 1-2 मैच ठीक है बट अब लगातार 5 मैच हो गए हैं और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ठीक है 1-2 दिन सबका खराब आता है कोई भी मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि कोई भी कितना भी बड़ा बॉलर हो दिन खराब ऊपर नीचे होते रहते हैं बट बैक टू बैक होना वो थोड़ी सी वरी है हमारे लिए और एज ए यूनिट बैठ के ज़रूर बात करेंगे सर होपफुली अगले गेम में अच्छा करेंगे.
But KKR will be cautious heading into the game versus Delhi Capitals. History has shown that Delhi has been a potential banana peel for them. In 30 encounters, KKR have won 16 but also lost 14. Worryingly, KKR lost both their encounters to DC in 2022. For KKR, this contest is important to ensure they can stay in the playoff race. DC, on the other hand, will see this match as a golden chance to bring back their winless run in IPL 2023. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Two big stalwarts to watch out for, David Warner and Andre Russell, both in opposite sides and both big names that are yet to fire in that encounter. That's the one to watch out for. Meanwhile, let's also turn our attention to what else is making news in the IPL in our IPL News Wrap.
The RR versus LSG encounter saw KL Rahul struggle on a sluggish pitch. The LSG skipper scored 39 of 32 balls at a strike rate of 121, and his batting was criticized by Kevin Peterson, who said, "Watching KL Rahul bat is the most boring thing ever," a comment that surprisingly received some support. Delhi Capitals are set to suffer a massive blow because reports suggest that India pacer Kamlesh Nagarkoti is set to be ruled out of the IPL due to a back injury. It's worth noting that Nagarkoti has not played a single game this season. Delhi Capitals are worried about the form of their domestic batters and they have reportedly called up the unsold duo of Abhimanyu Easwaran and Priyam Garg for trials. The franchise is expected to announce a replacement for Nagarkoti soon. KKR all-rounder Shardul Thakur has transformed from a bowler to a coach. In a video shared on KKR's social media, Shardul can be seen giving some catching lessons to Shane Watson and Ricky Ponting's kids. What can the Lord not do? Riyan Parag has come in for criticism for his knock against LSG, and his lack of contributions has made many fans question his place in the team. In response, head coach Kumar Sangakkara has said that Riyan has not been in good form and will be assessed in the next training session. Sports Bureau, India Today.
That's all that we have for you in Lights, Camera, Cricket for the moment, but news updates continue on the other side of this break.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
पहचान गए हैं? बोल नहीं सकते।
हाँ। Look at this Sarah screen, jumping with immense joy after meeting its friend.
after a hiatus. The bird spread its wings, tried to find a way out of the space to meet Mohammed Arif, while he was patiently standing outside the bird's enclosure, eagerly waiting to meet. The Sarah screen was found by Arif in August 2022 in an unconscious state, lying injured and bleeding. Arif rescued this endangered bird and nursed it back to health. Soon after, the bird began following Arif everywhere, wherever he would go and whatever he would do. But Arif's friendship with crane suffered a jolt when the forest department said that keeping the bird was illegal. The officials took the bird away to Kanpur Zoo.
उसे आज़ाद कर दिया जाए और किसी भी जो है जो पक्षी विहार होता है जहां अपनी आज़ादी से पंछी रहते हैं वहीं उसको जाके ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाए तो जैसे पहले रहता था वैसे रहने लगे.
This beautiful and heartwarming story proves that true love really knows no bounds. Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome, you're watching Mission 20. Chorus grows for Lingayat BJP Chief Minister face in Karnataka. BJP Lingayat MLAs make appeal to BSY. Say narrative of Brahman taking over getting stronger. Big setback for Rahul Gandhi. Surat dismisses plea against Rahul's conviction. BJP welcomes verdict. Congress says will avail all possible legal options. All accused, including Babu Bajrangi and Maya Kodnani, acquitted in the Naroda massacre case. 11 people were killed in the massacre in 2002. Cops recreate Atiq crime scene in Prayagraj. Narco tests of Atiq's killers likely. In big confession, shooters admit to links with the Bhatt gang. Khalistani fugitive Amritpal's wife stopped at Amritsar airport. She was en route to London. Cops say Kirandeep barred from flying as precautionary measure. It's a big win for EPS in Tamil Nadu. Election Commission recognizes him as AIDMK's General Secretary. 2 leaves symbol also allotted to EPS-led faction of the party. Day 3 of the same-sex Shadi hearing in Supreme Court. Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, slams trolls questioning future of kids in same-sex marriages. CGI says children in heterosexual marriages may also suffer. Good evening, you're watching Mission 2024. It's your one-stop destination for all news political. Let me take you through all the latest that is filtering in when it comes down to the latest political developments. A quick look at the top political developments today. A big legal blow for Rahul Gandhi after the Surat Sessions Court dismissed his plea for a stay on his conviction in the 2019 criminal defamation case over his Modi surname remark. Team Rahul will now move the Gujarat High Court tomorrow and may also approach the Supreme Court if no relief is granted. On the same day as Rahul's legal setback, NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar held a 2-hour-long meeting with businessman Gautam Adani in Mumbai. Hours after the meeting, Sena MP Sanjay Raut, Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction MP Sanjay Raut also met Pawar at his residence. TMC's Mahua Moitra attacks Pawar after his meeting with Adani, stating she's not afraid to take on the great Marathas and she can only hope that Netas have good sense to put country before old relationships. Congress has fielded DK Suresh from Kanakpura constituency as a backup candidate. DK Suresh is the brother of DK Shivakumar, who will be fighting from Kanakpura. Congress has alleged that central agencies could file fake cases against DKS to stop him from contesting. Big development in EPS versus OPS battle. Election Commission of India recognizes EPS as the AIDMK General Secretary and also allotted the 2 leaves symbol to the EPS-led faction of the party. All right, let's take you now to the latest news break that is coming in Mumbai. Sanjay Raut has left Silver Oak. He met Pawar for 25 minutes. All of this after Gautam Adani met Sharad Pawar this morning. Sanjay Raut also apparently met Pawar. We're going to try and get in a larger understanding from our reporters on ground. The latest that we are getting in right now is that Gautam Adani met Sharad Pawar, and after that Sanjay Raut also met Gautam Adani. While we try and get ourselves a reporter to get our viewers up to speed with the very latest, let's cut across to our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, word coming in that after meeting Sharad Pawar, Gautam Adani also met Sanjay Raut. Now, is this somewhere down the line clearly exposing the fault lines that lie within the Mahavikas Aghadi?
Look, Sharad Pawar and Gautam Adani have had a long-standing relationship, friendship that goes back to the late 1990s. So it's no surprise that Gautam Adani is meeting Sharad Pawar to... The NCP leader has never hidden this relationship that he has with the Gujarat-based industrialist, and just 10 days ago had made it very clear that he didn't believe there should be a JPC into the entire Adani affair. Sanjay Raut is more interesting because Uddhav Thackeray has taken a much stronger line on the Adani question, directly attacked Gautam Adani. Of course, the buzz in Mumbai is that Sanjay Raut today is as proximate to a Sharad Pawar as he is to an Uddhav Thackeray. And yes, to that extent, you could argue that it in a way exposes the fault lines that lie within the MVA and indeed the wider opposition when it comes to how do you tackle the Adani question. Rahul Gandhi much more strident than any other opposition leader and even some within his own party.
All right, Rajdeep, appreciate you joining us. The latest that is coming in is also seem to suggest that possibly Sanjay Raut did not meet Gautam Adani. We're going to try and get in a confirmation on that, but what we can confirm is that Sharad Pawar met Gautam Adani, and after that it seems Sanjay Raut has gone ahead and met Sharad Pawar. That's the latest news break that is coming in, but let's cut across to the other news break that's filtering in right now. After 21 years in court in Ahmedabad on Thursday, acquitted all accused. This is the Naroda Gram case. All accused, which include the former Gujarat Minister Maya Kodnani in the 2002 Naroda Gram case, have been acquitted. 11 people were killed, burnt alive in the Naroda village of Ahmedabad on the 28th of February 2002, a day after the Godhra train burning incident. All right, that's the latest news break that we are getting in the Naroda Gram case. 11 people were killed, burnt alive in Naroda village of Ahmedabad. Maya Kodnani, Babu Bajrangi were all accused and today stand acquitted. This is 21 years in the making. A court in Ahmedabad today acquitted all 11 accused, including former Gujarat Minister Maya Kodnani and Babu Bajrangi. Saurabh Bhaktania getting us the latest. Saurabh, we were also awaiting the verdict of Naroda Gram case in 2002, all 11 acquitted. Give us more details.
So, well, let me tell you that this particular case dates back to 2002. This incident happened on 28th February, just after the car sevaks were burned in Godhra in the access coach. Now, the very next day, there was a curfew situation in entire Ahmedabad, and in Naroda Gam, this particular incident took place in which over 11 people from the minority were burned to death. Now, let me tell you, there were 86 accused in this particular case. 17 of them died during the trial. In 2008, the Supreme Court had asked the formation of special SIT, and in 2009, the special court was continuously hearing this case. So, you can understand, over 13 to 14 years, this hearing was continuously going on. And today, when the verdict is out, that was a one-line verdict, let me tell you, all accused set free, all accused are acquitted. So, this is what the judgment is out right now. The accused in this particular case were the Gujarat ex-cabinet minister Maya Kotnani. She too was present while this particular judgment was given by the court at 5:30 p.m. in the evening. Among others were Babu Bajrangi and the leaders from the VHP. When the court pronounced this particular judgment, there were there were slogans raised of Jai Shri Ram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, and also Satyamev Jayate. So a lot of happiness amongst the family members right now. After so many years, the verdict is out, but clearly raises the question on the investigation as well. Some of the lawyers also said that based on the technical ground, basically what the advocates produced, that this accused were not present at the time where this particular incident took place, and therefore this was the major reason for the court to acquit all the accused in this case. However, we are still awaiting for the detailed outer copy, which is very likely to come by tomorrow.
All right, so I appreciate you joining us. Let's quickly move on to all the Karnataka, which continues to unfold in Karnataka. BJP chief JP Nadda calling Prime Minister Modi a blessing for Karnataka has spread a big political, sparked in fact, a big political showdown in the poll-bound state. The Congress has latched onto this remark, labelling the ruling party a dictatorship. Here's more.
State of War Karnataka has a new flashpoint, a remark by BJP chief JP Nadda inviting attack from Congress. At Shigaon, BJP chief JP Nadda said Karnataka should elect a BJP government and continue getting Prime Minister Modi's blessings and development.
इसलिए मेरा आपसे निवेदन है कि आपने कमल को जिताना है और कर्नाटक के विकास को आगे बढ़ाना है। इस बात के लिए आपको काम करना है।
ये राज्यದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗಾಗಿ ತಾವು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ The Congress slammed JP Nadda and took a dictator jibe at Prime Minister Modi and said the BJP needs lessons in democracy.
What happened in 15th Finance Commission? Mr. Nadda unnecessarily misleading the people.
BJP and Congress locked horns over Nadda's statement. While Congress claimed BJP is insulting Karnataka, the BJP asserted that only a double-engine saffron government is in best interest of Karnataka.
Karnataka needs a good government, and we have seen the government of BJP. That was with the blessings of Prime Minister Modi, the most corrupt government. So does the Karnataka government deserve that kind of a government?
Where there is a Congress party has never developed anything, any state for that matter. And the bogus propaganda they are making, people will not believe that.
The Congress has been taking on the BJP, making Kannada pride a big issue. The campaign putting milk brand Nandini against Amul was part of the Congress strategy to corner BJP.
This has triggered a lot of political reactions, with the opposition slamming JP Nadda, saying this comment was absolutely arrogant and this has insulted the pride of crores of Kannadigas. Well, with elections just around the corner, it remains to be seen how the people of Karnataka will see this statement, which is perceived by many as overconfident and arrogant. With video journalist Tinku, Anagha Keshav for India Today, Bengaluru.
Quickly cutting across to my colleague Shilpa Nair to get us the latest update. Shilpa, yet another instance of the Congress turning around a political controversy and milking the regional pride factor.
Well, absolutely. Like you rightly pointed out, the Congress is not leaving any stone unturned because they are playing into the Kannadiga pride. And this time around, the latest flashpoint or the latest controversy that has erupted in Karnataka is the remarks made by BJP President JP Nadda while JP Nadda was in Shigao for the nomination rally of Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai. The BJP President, of course, said that, Karnataka should not be deprived of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's blessings, meaning that, people of Karnataka should vote for the BJP in the upcoming assembly elections. And these remarks and these comments have definitely not gone down well with the political parties in Karnataka, especially the Congress party. We saw Siddaramaiah hitting out at JP Nadda, saying that what he said was completely unconstitutional and undemocratic. In fact, he took to Twitter as well, putting a series of tweets saying that in a democracy, people decide the fate of the candidates and the elected representatives can serve them. Narendra Modi is not God to bless anyone. I condemn the statement of JP Nadda about Narendra Modi's blessings of Karnataka. Looks like he needs lessons on democracy. All states are equal and have same rights according to the constitution. There is no space for dictatorship in democracy. This is what Siddaramaiah has put out on Twitter, and similar sentiments, of course, being reflected by several other Congress leaders as well. They are, of course, saying that what JP Nadda has said is completely unacceptable. Even if people of Karnataka do not vote for the BJP, the central government still has to ensure that Karnataka gets, welfare schemes, it gets the development that it requires, irrespective of which party comes to power in the state. The BJP, of course, has now slammed the Congress, saying that they are twisting the words of their party president. But definitely the Congress is latching onto this issue because they believe, JP Nadda's, remarks, they can once again play into the whole Kannadiga pride, and they are, of course, using this opportunity ahead of the crucial assembly elections here.
All right, stay on with us. We're going to come right back to you. Let's quickly touch on the other factor which is now gaining steam where Karnataka is concerned, which is the Congress putting pressure on the Bharatiya Janata Party to possibly, maybe in time, declare a Lingayat chief minister face. Why so? Because the Congress is saying that the BJP is going to go the Brahmin way. In the BJP political quarter, chorus is growing for a Lingayat CM face as well, in midst of concerns that the Lingayats would drift away from the BJP. BJP Lingayat MLAs met Yadurappa on Wednesday. They appealed to keep the Lingayat voters intact. As per sources, BJP MLAs said the opposition is spreading a narrative that Brahmins are taking over in the state of BJP, asserting that the narrative might disturb Lingayat vote banks ahead of polls. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Bommai has come down heavily on Congress and said the Grand Old Party is spreading misinformation, and further that the Chief Minister face will be decided by the BJP top brass.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಈಗಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗತಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಯಿತು. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಏನು ಅಪಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಲಹೆಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಧರ್ಮೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಧಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದರು. ಅವರು ನಾವು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು
ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವೀರಶೈವ ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಂಗಡದವರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದಿನ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ನಾಯಕರು ವೀರಶೈವ ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಭಾವನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
लिंगायत जो है हर वर्ग का वोट, हर वर्ग के लोग हमारे साथ हैं, लिंगायत भी हमारे साथ है. और कैसे कांग्रेस को लोग भूल सकते हैं जिसने पाटिल जी का, वीरेंद्र पाटिल जी का अपमान किया था. कांग्रेस को जातियों की राजनीति करती है. हम लोग सबका साथ सबका विकास के आधार पर राजनीति करते हैं और उसी की दिशा पे काम भी करते हैं. सभी वर्गों का व्यापक समर्थन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में है. आपने देखा जब इंटरनल रिजर्वेशन, अभी लिंगायत को 2% का रिजर्वेशन बढ़ाया गया, मुस्लिम से 4% हटा करके 2% लिंगायत को, 2% ओखलीगा को, सभी स्वामी जी पंचमसाली से लेकर के सभी स्वामी जी ने उसकी तारीफ भी किया.
Let's cut across back to my colleague Shilpa Nair. Shilpa, astute politics where the Congress is concerned. Lingayats, an important factor, had gone all in with the BJP in the last election with over 70% of Lingayat votes. This time around, the Congress trying to push the BJP into declaring a chief minister face, even if it is Bommai, but internal dynamics of the BJP also suggesting the same.
Well, absolutely. In fact, the whole Lingayat versus Brahmin narrative that the Congress is trying to push is definitely gaining some amount of traction on ground. And that is the reason why yesterday we saw Lingayat leaders belonging to the BJP. They had called for a meeting. That meeting, of course, was headed by B.S. Yediyurappa, the tallest leader, Lingayat leader, as far as the BJP is concerned in Karnataka. And in that meeting, of course, they spoke about this narrative that is being pushed because if you look at it, tall Lingayat leaders like Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sabdi, they were denied tickets this time around and they switched over to the Congress party. And all these optics, of course, has not gone down well. And Jagdish Shettar, of course, has now come out in open accusing B.L. Santosh of trying to sideline Lingayat leaders as well. So this whole Lingayat versus Brahmin narrative is, of course, a cause of concern for the BJP ahead of the elections. And that is the reason why yesterday in that meeting, there were suggestions from few leaders that the BJP High Command should declare a candidate, a CM candidate who belongs to the Lingayat community to make sure that the vote bank remains intact. Now, B.S. Yediyurappa, of course, has assured these leaders that he will take these, requests or recommendations to the High Command, and it will eventually be the party leadership that will take a call on the Chief Minister candidate. But on the other hand, the BJP is also accusing the Congress of shedding crocodile tears for the Lingayat community, saying that why don't the Congress then go ahead and announce a Lingayat CM candidate if they are actually so concerned about the community.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Shilpa. We're going to come right back to you for more. A quick break. To stay with us on the other side is our fact check segment.
Bullets flew, our cameras rolled. Inches away from point-blank killing. 2023's biggest crime story plays out live.
Immediately shot on Atiq as well as Ashraf, and on the spot.
Just that short dramatic sequence got on camera by India Today's crew right there in Prayagraj.
The bloody end of gangster Atiq Ahmed, up close with terrifying gangster Ram. India's #1 crime reporters. Fearless, unstoppable, unmatched. Nobody reports crime like India Today.
After the historic takedown of Section 377, decriminalizing homosexuality, one would have thought the progression to equal rights in India has begun. Next in line would be legalizing same-sex marriage. The government on the issue of decriminalizing homosexuality had left it to the wisdom of the Supreme Court to take a stand or a call on consensual gay sex, or Section 377. One would have thought the government would do the same when it came to same-sex marriages. Not quite. Formally opposing legal recognition, the centre has submitted in Supreme Court that the concept of marriage between man and a woman is deeply embedded in religious and societal norms, and any interference will cause complete havoc with the delicate balance of personal laws in the country and in acceptance of societal values. In its vehement opposition, the government also submitted, calling same-sex marriage an urban elitist concept that undermines religious and social values. And in the latest affidavit, the centre filed a fresh affidavit asking the Supreme Court to make all the states and union territories in the country a part of the ongoing court proceedings. The government has also asserted the court should refrain from recognizing same-sex marriage as the issue comes within the legislative domain. The response from the top court, notably by the 5-judge bench, on the first day of the Supreme Court hearing led to jubilation and hope in the LGBTQ community. The top court said there is no absolute concept of a man or an absolute concept of a woman, and that gender is far more complex than one's genitals. The petitioner sought a direction that the right to marry a person of one's choice be extended to the LGBTQ people as part of their fundamental rights. The petitioners are now hoping that the top court interprets the existing Special Marriage Act in their favour. Bureau Report, India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
Welcome back. You're watching our fact check segment where we bust fake news. There's a claim floating about suggesting that Rahul Gandhi's door-to-door campaign in Karnataka took place. However, these pictures are from Rahul's March visit to Wayanad as MP and nothing to do with Karnataka. With this fact check, time for me to go into a break. To stay with us on the other side as I'll to the point.
Is Atiq's wife, Shaista Parveen, hiding with the very men who killed Umesh Pal? A question that's added a whole new dimension to the hunt for Shaista Parveen. Sources have told India Today that Shaista could be hiding with shooter Shabir and Atiq's sister Ayesha, who's also wanted in the same Umesh Pal case. The search is a tough one for the police as they claim Shaista is moving with over 6 burqa-clad women so she can't be spotted by authorities. And that's how she's avoided arrest for months now. She and Ayesha Ahmed are reportedly together, constantly changing locations and not using their mobile phones. April the 15th, 2023. Asad buried in Prayagraj burial ground. His mother, Shaista Parveen, stayed away. April 16th, 2023. Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf buried at the same Prayagraj burial ground. Atiq's wife, Shaista Parveen, stays away again.
After the UP police and other agencies have intensified their search for Shaista Parveen, India Today team is at the spot at the maternal house of Shaista Parveen, and we were shocked to see that the whole house was left unlocked. There is valuable items inside which has been kept as it is. It suggests that no time was given or was with the family and they fled here with a hurry.
The UP police so far has conducted raids in 4 states in search of Shaista. Besides searches in Kaushambi, Greater Noida and Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, the police have also conducted searches in Delhi's Okhla, Mumbai and some locations in West Bengal as well. More than 20 such people have been identified who are suspected to have helped Shaista hide.
शाइस्ता परवीन इस पूरे घटनाक्रम के षड्यंत्र में पूरी तरीके से शामिल थी। जो लोग शामिल थे जिनके विरुद्ध साक्ष्य सामने आ रहे हैं उनकी गिरफ्तारी की जा रही है। आगे भी षड्यंत्र और संरक्षण देने वालों के खिलाफ जैसे साक्ष्य आएंगे वैसी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Since Asad, Atiq and Ashraf have been eliminated, Shaista is now the only link that can provide information on Atiq's criminal network. And nabbing the godmother, as she's known in criminal networks, is now even more crucial. But it isn't just Shaista. The manhunt is also on to nab Guddu Muslim, aka Guddu Bambas. Guddu's last known location is reportedly Karnataka, and since then there have been no further leads. But the crackdown continues. Guddu's home in Prayagraj, UP could very well be razed to the ground using bulldozers.
By American tourists born to cross boundaries. IDFC First Bank, always you first. Blue Star fast cooling AC.
Warm welcome. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Many said today in political circles that what happened today at the Sessions Court in Surat was expected, which is that Rahul's conviction would not be stayed, at least at a Sessions Court level. However, what one really has to look at it is to read back-to-back legal blows for Rahul Gandhi. Where does he stand now? Legally, politically? Today, a Surat Session Court dismissed the Congress leader's plea for a stay on his conviction in criminal defamation case over his Modi surname remark, which was deemed defamatory. Rahul has now decided to take the matter to a higher court, the High Court in this case. Meanwhile, what sparked at the back of it was a massive political blowout between the BJP and the Congress. This, again, was expected.
Back-to-back legal setbacks for Rahul Gandhi. First, a lower court declared the Congress leader guilty of defamation of his Modi chor remark, which led to his disqualification from Lok Sabha. And now the Surat Session Court has dismissed his plea for stay, which means his conviction and 2-year sentence remains. The court in its ruling said that the conditions for stay were not met by Rahul Gandhi. The court said that Rahul should have been more careful as his words can cause mental agony. The court also said that losing membership of parliament is not an irreparable loss. Rahul's legal team will now move the Gujarat High Court for relief.
Senior advocate R.S. Chima, appearing for Rahul Gandhi, in his arguments had said that the decision of the civil court is perverse, that it creates irretrievable and irreparable damage to Rahul Gandhi, and that this order could not have been passed because Rahul Gandhi never got a fair trial. All of these arguments have been dismissed by the Sessions Court at Surat, which has gone threadbare into the entire trial and looked at all aspects.
The legal team of Gujarat BJP MLA Purnish Modi, who had filed the defamation case, claiming insult to all with Modi's surname, hailed the verdict.
Appellant, convict, has failed to establish any rarest of rare case or the exceptional circumstances. Court has also taken into consideration the judgment of the Supreme Court which were advanced by us, as well as the judgment of the Honorable Gujarat High Court. They should be treated at par with all the citizens of India.
The verdict, as expected, has sparked a political showdown.
This is a, I would say, slap on the face of the arrogance of the Gandhi family. ये जो घमंड है गांधी परिवार का, और खास करके जो गांधी परिवार ये सोचती है कि हम कुछ भी कर लेंगे और हमारा कुछ नहीं बिगड़ेगा, आज सूरत के अपीलिएट कोर्ट से ये सिद्ध होता है कि कानून सबके लिए बराबर का है. This was not death of democracy of India. This is a blow on the arrogance of the Gandhi family. ये लोकतंत्र समाप्त नहीं हुआ है। ये जो घमंड है गांधी परिवार का और खास करके राहुल गांधी का, उसके ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ा आघात है कोर्ट के माध्यम से।
Voice of Rahul Gandhi is not to be silenced in the manner that the BJP thinks it can do. The BJP has been, in a sense, from Mr. Modi downwards to the government, to the ruling party, captured in a fear psychosis, if I may say so. They have unleashed lakhs of trolls and trollers against Rahul Gandhi. They sometimes threaten you with privilege notices, sometimes with suspension, but they do not know the stuff Rahul Gandhi is made of. They do not know the resilience of the Congress.
Rahul Gandhi could be looking at a long legal battle ahead. His first aim will be to get a stay on the conviction, which will enable him to get his parliament membership back. Unless he gets the stay, Rahul Gandhi will not be able to contest the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. With Anisha Mathur and Saurav Aktania from Surat, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, so what has resulted is a big political blowout. Let's cut across to our two political guests this evening from the BJP and the Congress. I have Dr. Guru Prakash Paswan, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, Adil Singh Boparoy, spokesperson Congress, joins us. Dr. Paswan, the fact is, at one end, there is stress that what is taking place is due process of law, and Rahul Gandhi is paying the price of what a common citizen needs to pay. Then why at the back end of it completely politicize this due process of law by saying that this is a slap on the Gandhi family's face, it's a rejection of arrogance and so on and so forth. What we've seen through the course of the day with the commentary that has followed.
Preeti, a very warm good evening to you and my fellow panelists. We must understand that in this country we have rule of law. There is constitution and there are institutions of constitution on which the constitutional principle runs. Judiciary is one such institution. And our constitution categorically mentions that no one is above the rule of law. Today's decision, it is the victory of rule of law. It is the victory of the Constitution of India. It is the victory of the vision of the makers of Constitution of India and the victory of the marginalized sections of India as well. You cannot make any comment, you cannot insult the marginalized section and get away with it. You look at the trajectory of Congress party from Baba Saheb Ambedkar to Sitaram Kesri to the Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. What have they said? And they can run away from it? No, you cannot run away from it after insulting the aspirations of the marginalized sections. At the one end, you try to speak on behalf of the concerns and aspirations of the marginalized section on different issues. And on the other end, you have historically always made derogatory statement detrimental to the respect and recognition of the disadvantaged communities. Today, I am sure whatever Mr. Rahul Gandhi is, and we must also understand that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has a very interesting and a very complicated relationship with the judicial process, with the courts. He is out on bail. In 2018, when he insulted the chowkidars of the country, he apologized. He apologized to the apex court of the country. He had an option. He had an option to apologize to the Ghanchi Samudaya, to the Ghanchi community, to the OBC community of Gujarat and across the country. But he chose not to apologize to the OBCs, to the backward sections of the society. Okay. What else would be waiting for?
But, Dr. Paswan, what you're quoting,
absolutely,
right, Dr.
no
Paswan,
one is above the rule of law, Preeti.
Fair enough. But what you're quoting of what happened in 2019, he did not apologize. He did not apologize for the Chowkidar comment. He apologized for his comments on Rafale. So differentiation there. Having said that, I want to bring in your co-panelists, and I'm going to come right back to you.
He did apologize. That's
he apologized for Rafale, not for insulting the chowkidars of the country, which you insinuated. That's all I want to correct you on. But I want to bring in
That was a related case. That was a related case.
But it wasn't. It was nothing.
That was a related case.
Yes, but Dr. Paswan, it had nothing to do with chowkidars. It had only to do with what the comments he had made in connection with Rafale. But you say that it's a win of the judicial process of the country.
Exactly.
So tomorrow, if there is a stay by the High Court, would the BJP still be saying that? We're going to come right back to it. But Adil Singh Boparoy, I want to come down to you. if there is, the Congress continues to say we did not insult the OBCs. Of the three Modis he spoke of, 2 are not even OBCs. That's your argument. But even at the back of it, if the OBCs of this country have taken offense at all and there is a defamation case, what stops Rahul Gandhi from apologizing and moving on?
Well, Preeti, as a preliminary point, it is ironical that the Bharatiya Janata Party, a government which vigorously defends gang rapists and murderers, is sermonizing the country on the rule of law. The BJP, with impunity and brazenness, murders the rule of law day in and day out, but that's for another day. Now, coming to the issue at hand, let me categorically clarify on behalf of the Congress party that the speech delivered by Mr. Rahul Gandhi at Kolar in Karnataka was in the context of economic fugitives fleeing this country. And those economic fugitives who were aided, abetted, and facilitated by none other than the Prime Minister of this country. It is common knowledge that Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Mehul Choksi enjoy close proximity with the highest echelons of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Point number 1. Point number 2. Why is he interrupting me, Preeti? Why is he interrupting me?
He's not interrupting you at all.
Point number 2. It is unfortunate and an insult to the intelligence of an ordinary Indian when the Bharatiya Janata Party brings in the caste element. There is no casteist overtone to Mr. Rahul Gandhi's imputation. It was one line from a 2-page speech.
Okay.
Delivered in the context of it.
Okay, Mr. Bopuroy and Dr. Paswan, I'm going to just come in, and the reason why I'm doing so is there's big news coming in of a terror attack. What we can confirm, there's been a terror attack which has claimed the lives of 5 soldiers in Rajouri. The vehicle caught fire due to likely use of grenades by terrorists on the Punch-Jammu National Highway. That's the latest news that's coming in, disturbing news at that, emerging from Rajouri, Punch. These are visuals that are filtering in. 5 Jawans have been confirmed killed. Was a convoy attacked? We still, don't know. Initial information suggests that there's been a terror attack. What we can confirm, it could be a grenade-based attack. We're trying to get a larger understanding. Was there a convoy that came under attack by terrorists? But what we can confirm, and sadly so, is that 5 soldiers are killed already. A vehicle in this convoy has caught fire due to likely use of grenades by terrorists on the Punch-Jammu National Highway. So it seems there was a convoy of the army and grenades were hurled. And one vehicle that you see on your television screen caught fire. The impact of that grenade has led to the unfortunate demise of 5 soldiers of the Indian Army. We're going to try and get an understanding on what unit that they belong to, what exactly happened. But these visuals filtering live on your television screen of 5 soldiers being killed in a terror attack in the Rajouri Punch area. What we are given to understand is that terrorists flung grenades on an army cavalcade and one of the vehicles caught fire, and the impact of which has led to 5 soldiers of the Indian Army being killed. Connecting to my colleague Abhishek Bhalla for more on this news break. Abhishek, what more can you add?
Well, Preeti, it's confirmed by the Indian Army now that this was in fact a terror attack. The incident took place a little while earlier, but the initial information was in fact quite sketchy. And at that point of time, the army was saying that it seems to be just a case of an accident because the vehicle in which these personnel were traveling in, it caught fire. But now the army statement clearly states that there were bullets fired first. There was low visibility because of the rain and the weather in the area. And after firing bullets, there were also grenades hurled at this vehicle in which these army personnel were training, were traveling. After the confirmation that the army has given out, there is also information trickling in that Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has been apprised by the Army Chief General Manoj Pandey on the incident. And the senior leadership in the Defense Ministry is very closely monitoring the situation, ascertaining other facts, and trying to find out whether this was in fact an infiltration that took place, or were these terrorists already in the area from before?
Abhishek, would you, give us a trajectory, because this is not this year in itself. There have been at least 3 more, attacks by terrorists on army convoys, if I'm not wrong. The third one coming in now, which you've just confirmed. Shiv is also joining us, our senior executive editor. Shiv, what more can you add to this news break?
Preeti, absolutely shocking case, because when the information about this incident came out earlier today, we had the story on our channel as well. It was believed to have been some kind of a freak fire, possibly even a lightning strike on the vehicle. All of these theories had been doing the rounds, Preeti, at that point of time, alongside the horrific images that we saw from near the Poonch Bimbar Gully area. Now, this was a routine convoy. There are understood to have been some other trucks as well, but those were unharmed. But this is an area that is fairly wooded, also a mountainous area. It was raining quite heavily, quite dark, and the army has now clarified. Earlier today, they had put out a statement about the incident itself, confirming the loss of life. But it is only now that the Northern Command, Preeti, has come out with a specific statement saying that unidentified terrorists opened fire on the vehicle. Now, opening fire on a vehicle is one thing, but they also say it's likely that the fire was started as a result of a grenade being flung at the truck. So the 5 soldiers were killed right there in the truck itself. There was some kind of an explosion for sure, because you can see the remains of soldiers outside the truck. 1 soldier has been evacuated to Srinagar for treatment, but he is said to be critical at this time, Preeti.
So 5 soldiers unfortunately killed. Abhishek, what is also worrisome in all of this is that it's taken this long to confirm that this was a terror attack. Okay, Abhishek is not with us, but Shiv, highly worrisome just the way, the incident has developed right now, because if it was an attack by terrorists, they've clearly got away.
At the moment, the information that we have, Preeti, is that a search operation is on in that particular area. Remember, the Poonch Bimbar Gully area is not very far from the line of control itself. Who the people were, how many were there, in which direction they've disappeared to. Could they have been from across the line of control? None of this information is there just yet. You're right. It has taken a while to confirm that it was a terror attack. But I imagine that on the ground, the army has its own processes as far as information release is concerned, because of the sensitivity of the operations. Now, the soldiers who've lost their lives in this attack are all Rashtriya Rifles soldiers. Okay. They're all part of counterinsurgency operations, in that local area itself, Preeti. I'm guessing that Rashtriya Rifles units themselves have already been activated now for the cordon and search operations in that area. It's a populated area. The Bimbar Gully Poonch area has a number of villages, not very far from the line of control. So this is going to be an extensive search until the perpetrators are found.
Shiv, this is not the first attack, yes, in the army, where the army is concerned, yes, the first this year in the Rajouri area sector, but not just very long ago, just a month and a half ago, many civilians were also targeted by terrorists in exactly the same area.
That is correct. The Poonch highway is an extremely sensitive highway, Preeti, and that's the reason why a huge number of very detailed protocols have been laid down for road opening parties. There are advanced parties that conduct surveillance to ensure that the road is completely sanitized all along the route for both military and paramilitary vehicles. There can be absolutely no lapse in this regard, simply because every time there is a small little lapse, it can easily be manipulated by local elements. So that's the reason why it's going to. We'll have to wait and see what the investigation tells us. Was there some kind of a lapse as far as intelligence was concerned? That we can safely assume to be the case. But was there some kind of lapse as far as laid down, very strictly enforced and laid down protocol as far as road opening parties is concerned? That we're waiting for right now.
But
extremely worrisome. Right. You're right.
Shiv, I'm going to just bring in Abhishek into this conversation, because Abhishek, just take our viewers through what is the SOP. There's a strict protocol when convoys move in high alert areas such as this. What could have really happened?
Well, whenever there is a convoy moving, whenever there is military movement, Preeti, there is a road opening party. Now, what that means is that there are troops on the ground They needn't necessarily be always army personnel. It could be the Central Reserve Police Force that is also deployed in Jammu and Kashmir, and it could also be units from the army. So that's a standard operating procedure. There will always be a road opening party. Now, whether this was an ambush is not clear, because we've not heard from the army saying whether there was retaliatory fire from the army personnel as well. But what is known is that first there was a volley of bullets fired at this vehicle. In all probability, this was a single vehicle. We don't know whether it was a big convoy. And then there were grenades hurled at the vehicle. And that's the confirmation that army has given. It's an area which is always been very sensitive. It's close to the line of control as well. This area has also been used for infiltrations in the past. The area that falls south of the Pir Panjal range. In fact, when there is heavy winter or heavy snowfall in the upper reaches in North Kashmir, these are the areas where the infiltrations happen from. The army needs to ascertain very quickly whether this was a fresh infiltration that has taken place, whether there were local terrorists involved in this incident, or whether these were terrorists who had infiltrated from across the line of control and were taking refuge, staying in the area around where this incident has taken place. Bimbar Gali in the Rajouri Pune sector is primarily a military station. There is very little civilian population in Bimbar Gali per se, but around the area there is a lot of civilian deployment as well. So it remains to be seen whether it's a fresh infiltration or whether terrorists were actually staying in some place in one of those residential areas.
All right, Abhishek and Shiv, appreciate you joining us. The optics of a convoy of the Indian Army being targeted in Jammu and Kashmir are damaging, but trust the Indian Army to be at a war footing to figure out on what exactly has gone down and what led to the loss of 5 Jawans is what we're given to understand. So yes, it was a grenade attack. It's a terrorist attack that has taken place on this convoy. We're going to keep getting you the latest but sensitive story that is coming in right now in terms of both information and what the fallout of it could be. Thank you for joining us. Up next is Rahul Gandhi.
Justice, liberty, equality, the pillars that built India. A nation where everyone has dignity and opportunities to prosper. But today, over 75 years after independence, Dalits remain a community trapped for centuries by the caste system, languishing in a dismal state. Nearly 20% of India's population is Dalit. Dalits still live in abject poverty, excluded on the margins, facing atrocities, toxic untouchability, and no opportunities for economic upliftment. The father of India's constitution, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, fought all his life for the upliftment of Dalits. In the past, many state and central governments have made big promises, but it has been nothing more than lip service. Basic human rights have still not been delivered. Dalits remain downtrodden and discriminated against. This shocking reality is a national shame. Few have dared to break the cage of caste discrimination until now. Friend to the downtrodden, upholding human rights and dignity, championing Ambedkar's India, KCR is showing India and the world our revolution is sparked in Telangana through his path-breaking scheme, Telangana Dalit Bandhu. Approximately 17,50,000 Dalit families called Telangana home, and now they are calling Telangana the land of opportunity. Thanks to Dalit Bandhu, launched in 2021 by the TRS government, a world-first scheme which will give each Dalit family an astounding financial boost of 10 lakh rupees. There are many more schemes along with this which are under implementation all over the state. But Dalit Bandhu is a specially designed program for the upliftment of the Dalit community. It has an unprecedented objective to uplift 17,50,000 Dalit households with a one-time capital grant of 10 lakh rupees per household, 100% subsidy with zero repayment, delivered via direct-to-beneficiary transfer, with a dedicated Dalit Bandhu scheme help desk and monitoring committee at village, mandal, district and state level, and a 10% reservation for Dalits in profit-generating schemes, government contracts and licenses. In addition to this, Telangana has another visionary program for Dalit students, residential schools and colleges, and Ambedkar Overseas Vidya Nidhi, a 20 lakh rupees overseas scholarship, giving them the most powerful tool for success: education. Huzurabad, 2021. The Telangana Dalit Bandhu pilot was launched. Telangana's Dalit Bandhu is a path-breaking scheme that places absolute trust in the beneficiary. Each household has complete freedom and flexibility to decide its business and how to grow their dreams.
నేను వచ్చేసి ఫార్మసీ చదివాను సార్. దాని తర్వాత యాజ్ ఏ ఫార్మసిస్ట్గా చాలా ప్లేస్లో చేశాను సార్. ఎప్పుడైతే మన తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ ఈ దళిత బంధు పెట్టిందో అప్పుడు ఇంకా నాకు ఎప్పటి నుంచో నా ఓన్గా బిజినెస్ పెట్టుకున్నామని నాకు అంతకుముందే ఉండేది సార్. మన టీఆర్ఎస్ గవర్నమెంట్ దళిత బంధు స్కీమ్ ఒకటి పెట్టి నా ఓన్గా నేను సెటిల్ కావడానికి ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ క్రియేట్ చేసింది సార్.
Households were identified as beneficiaries and the direct benefit transfer of 10 lakh rupees was made. Each family unit was free to decide how they wished to invest this 100% subsidy. It could be a single or multiple businesses. Multiple beneficiaries could pool their resources to build a bigger business. It could be in any sector of their choice. The sky was the limit. In no time, the stories of transformation began rolling in. These are just a small fraction of the 40,000 success stories that Telangana has empowered through the Dalit Bandhu scheme. In just 1 year, it has smashed records for any Dalit upliftment scheme in the country. Till date, the Dalit Bandhu scheme has been implemented in all 119 assembly constituencies in Telangana. Beneficiaries have achieved prosperity for their families. They have also created opportunity for their community by providing employment and revenue. The resounding success of the Dalit Bandhu scheme has energized the TRS government to accelerate its efforts. From 40,000 beneficiaries with an outlay of 4,441.8 crore rupees, now Telangana government has raised the Dalit Bandhu budget to reach about 2 lakh beneficiaries with an outlay of 17,700 crore rupees, making this the world's largest direct benefit scheme.
దళిత బంధు వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ 10 లక్షలు అనేది మామూలుగా అందరికీ ఆపర్చునిటీ రాదు. ఇది పూర్తిగా గవర్నమెంట్ వాళ్ళు మాకు 10 లక్షలు ఇచ్చేసి మీ ఇష్టం ఉన్న వ్యాపారాన్ని పెట్టుకో అని చెప్పేసి అనడం వల్ల మాకు ఇంత ఆర్థిక పురోగతి కలిగింది. అదే కాకుండా మేము ఇంతకుముందు ఒక దగ్గర వర్కర్గా పనిచేసిన వాళ్ళం ఇప్పుడు ఓనర్గా ఉండగలుగుతున్నాం.
Never before has such a revolutionary scheme been designed to end caste discrimination, where Dalits receive 100% opportunity along with 100% dignity.
దళిత బంధు పథకం రాకముందు మేమైతే చాలా స్ట్రగుల్స్ ఫేస్ చేసాము. దళిత బంధు పథకం కింద మేము ఈ ఎంబ్రాయిడరీ మిషన్ ఎంచుకొని పెట్టుకున్నాము. నేర్చుకున్న వరకునే నేను ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేయాలనుకొని ఈ ఎంబ్రాయిడరీ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను సార్. ఇచ్చినందుకు చాలా చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు కేసీఆర్ గారికి, తెలంగాణ ప్రభుత్వానికి కూడా మేము ఎంతో రుణపడి ఉన్నాము.
ముగ్గురం కలిసి ఒక యూనిట్ పెట్టాము. అంటే 30 lakhs పెట్టి ఒక వెహికల్ను ఇప్పుడు అమెరికన్ టూరిస్ట్ షాప్ పెట్టాము. బాగానే నడుస్తుంది ఇప్పుడైతే. అంటే నేను జాబ్ చేసేవాడిని, ఇప్పుడు ఓనర్గా అంటే ఒక కంపెనీ ఓనర్గా ఇప్పుడు ఫీల్ అవుతున్నా. చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది.
జీవన జీవనోపాధిగా మిషన్ కుట్టుకుంటూ బ్రతికేదాన్ని సార్. నేను మాకు 3 పిల్లలు, వాళ్ళని చదివించుకుంటూ మేము బ్రతకాలంటే చాలా కష్టమైంది సార్. ఇప్పుడు దళిత బంధు ద్వారా కేసీఆర్ గారు ఆదుకున్నారు సార్. వాళ్ళు ఇద్దరం కలిసి పెట్టుకున్నాం సార్ మిషన్. కోయంబత్తూరు నుంచి వెళ్ళి తెప్పించుకున్నాం సార్ మిషన్ను. నాన్ ఓవెన్ బ్యాగ్స్ సార్. మేము మాకు నెలకు 50,000 వరకు వస్తాయి సార్. 3 జీతాలు 50,000 వరకు వస్తాయి సార్.
For Telangana's leadership, it's not about breaking records, but about ensuring financial freedom for all. Each Dalit Bandhu grant of 10 lakh rupees has an inbuilt 10,000 rupees safety net, Dalita Rakshana Nidhi, to ensure that all Dalit families get financial assistance from the fund at times of distress. To further strengthen this, Telangana government contributes additional 10,000 rupees, which is over and above each grant. A great safety net that has no parallel anywhere in the world. For the KCR government, this is more than just a financial benefit. If any beneficiary of Dalit Bandhu meets with fatal disease or accident, the family should not go through additional depression and hard times. They should remain protected. That is the true purpose of the special safety net designed as Dalita Rakshana Nidhi.
కేసీఆర్ సార్ ఇంత పెద్ద స్కీమ్ తీసుకురావడం అనేది చాలా గొప్ప విషయం సార్. మాలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఓన్గా ఒక కంపెనీ పెట్టి ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ కావాలనుకునే వాళ్ళ కోసం ఇది గోల్డెన్ ఆపర్చునిటీ.
అదే కాకుండా దళితులు అంటే సమాజంలో అందరికీ చిన్న చూపుగానే ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఇవ్వడం వల్ల
దళిత బంధు ఇచ్చి మమ్మల్ని ఎంతో ఆదుకున్నారు సార్. మాకు మరో అంబేద్కర్ గారు సారు మాకైతే మాటల్లో చెప్పలేము. ఆయనకు మాకు ఎంతో బతుకునిచ్చిండ్రు అసలు.
Under the fearless leadership of KCR, Dalits finally have a government that protects and defends them. Telangana inspires them to overcome oppression and empowers them to be bold, so that each Dalit can move up in the world with head held high, creating their own success story, making Telangana shine, and in turn, India.
As State of War Karnataka kicks off, Karnataka's rulers and challengers, Karnataka's superstars and dreamers, Karnataka's very body and soul, come together on Karnataka's premier stage. Every voice, every issue, every debate. This is what Karnataka wants. India Today Karnataka Roundtable, 22nd April, Bengaluru.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies.
Co-presented by
Macho Hind, Bade Aaram Se.
the all-new Hyundai Verna, futuristic, ferocious. XP100, India's first 100-octane premium petrol.
I've got big breaking news coming in on the news track tonight. An army vehicle moving between Bhimbar Gali and Poonch in the Rajouri sector of Jammu and Kashmir has been fired on by unidentified terrorists. 5 army men of the Rashtriya Rifles unit deployed for counter-terrorism operations have been killed in this attack. Terrorists may have lobbed grenades on the vehicle, which then caught fire. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey has briefed Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Injured on the spot have been rushed for medical treatment. Search operations have been launched. We're also receiving word that there is a advisory that's been put out by the police in Jammu and Kashmir linking the possibility of attack to the fact that later this month there is a G20 summit in Jammu and Kashmir from the 22nd to the 25th of May, and that there is a possibility that terrorists will try and cause more attacks somewhere in Jammu and Kashmir to create a sense of things not being normal in Jammu and Kashmir. The government taking a big decision, wanting to have G20 meeting in Jammu and Kashmir, and terrorists inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir obviously wanting to disrupt that. That's the information that we are getting. We're also learning that the PAFF has claimed responsibility. This is a claim that they've made on social media. Sources in the intelligence agencies are telling us that the footprints of the Lashkar can be seen all across the attack, all across this attack. The Additional Director General of Jammu and other senior officers are rushing to the area where this encounter has taken place. Remember, a vehicle caught fire. It was initially thought that something went wrong, which is why that vehicle caught fire. But now it turns out that that was a terror attack. 5 army men have been killed. It's being said that the terrorists used an explosive device at this vehicle, and that's how the vehicle detonated and caught fire. We're also being told that there is a heightened possibility of more terror attacks in the Jammu and Kashmir region in the build-up to that big G20 summit. You know, it's been a while since there's been a major attack of this nature in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, in February 2019, 40 CRPF personnel were killed in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district when a Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist rammed a vehicle laden with explosives into the bus that they were traveling in. And after that, now we're seeing this terror attack in which 5 personnel from the Rashtra Rifle have been killed. Abhishek Bhalla, our National Bureau Chief, joins us. He tracks defense for us. Abhishek, a big disturbing story. This, an army vehicle attacked by terrorists in Rajouri, 5 personnel killed. Initially, this was thought that the vehicle caught fire. Now the army confirming that this is actually a terror attack.
Yes, Rahul, a terror attack, and a very well-planned one is what sources are telling me. In fact, first there were bullets fired at this vehicle. This was a single vehicle that was moving from Bimbar Gali. It was a Rashtra Rifle personnel. Rashtra Rifles is the main force that combats terror in J&K, and there were 6 personnel in the vehicle. 5 have lost their lives. 1 is injured. Has been taken to hospital. What officials are saying is that the weather was bad, it was raining, the visibility was low, and perhaps that's the reason why the terrorists in the area found this to be the right time to strike. And after firing bullets, they have thrown grenades at the vehicle. This is what amplified this attack, and there was a big fire that the vehicle caught, and which resulted in 5 personnel dying.
What do we know about the People's Anti-Fascist Front, the PAFF, which at least on social media seems to be claiming responsibility for the attack? Remember, intelligence agencies tell us that this is linked with the Jaish-e-Mohammed. The PAFF, what do we know about their involvement in past terror attacks, Abhishek?
Well, Rahul, agencies have always maintained that any such outfits are nothing but an extension of Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, the big terror outfits that function from Pakistan. And even with this incident, agencies and the army are trying to ascertain immediately whether this was a fresh infiltration that has taken place, or whether terrorists had already infiltrated well in advance and were taking refuge in some area. Because this is a secluded area where the incident has taken place, not a lot of civilian population residing here. The vehicle that was moving, they were moving from Bimbar Gali to one of the company areas where they had to reach. So in all probability, it seems that this is a terror outfit that is backed by
Kamaljit Sandhu joins us. Kamaljit Sandhu tracks internal security for us. Kamaljit, since 2019, there haven't been major terror attacks. This is the biggest since Pulwama in 2019 in February. There have been other attacks in years gone by, but this seems to have been a major terror attack. What details can you give our viewers, Kamaljit?
Well, Rahul, definitely this is a very ghastly attack. The visual itself are very, very disturbing. But what our sources are indicating is that PAFF, as you mentioned rightly, has taken responsibility on various social media sites.
What
Now,
is
there are
TAFF? What can you tell me about TAFF? At one place, I'm seeing that this is Jaish backed. At another place, on tracking terrorism, the portal, it's being said that this was started by the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Who are these guys?
So this is a splinter group, and obviously there is a sense of deniability, and that is why these smaller splinter groups was formed, one by Jaish and one by Lashkar. But sources clearly indicating to us that this looks like a Lashkar imprint. What is also very much known is that there was a firing and subsequently followed by grenade, and it does seem that the fuel tank was targeted, and that is why you see that the entire truck actually went up in flames, and that has caused a lot more injuries. Also, sources do say that this is an indication of a major escalation, especially because G20 was being organized in Jammu and Kashmir. It's a matter of great prestige. However, in the recent past itself, the Union Home Minister had taken a meeting on the G20 security issues. It was supposed to be one of the big things. Also, that there was a direction coming in from Home Ministry that there has to be zero terror. Now, that is a very, very high value target as far as this, because obviously even as far as crime or something like terror is concerned, zero target has been kept as far as our sources indicate. And meanwhile, this is a sort of thing which has come, and obviously we know that as far as drugs, as far as weapons, IEDs, a whole lot of things have been coming across the border, especially via drones. And now we see a major escalation in terms of an attack taking of this kind. This is obviously something which has been taken note of.
No, so do we have details like this is our Rashtra Rifles vehicle that's been targeted? Was it traveling alone? Was it in a cavalcade? I'm just receiving word from the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha. He's tweeted to say, I'm deeply anguished by the loss of lives of brave army personnel in a tragic incident at Poonch. Their rich service to the nation will never be forgotten. My thoughts are with the bereaved families. Was this vehicle by itself, Kamaljeet? Was it as part of a convoy? Do we know where it was in that convoy? Was it in the beginning? Was it in the middle? Was it towards the end?
Well, the details will be known better, because obviously we've spoken to our police sources. They're saying the senior officers rushing there. But yes, this vehicle was targeted, and it does seem like a very planned attack, and it does seem that there was an ambush-style attack which has taken place, followed by a grenade attack. And that is where we have to know whether the retaliation took place. So these details will emerge in some time from now, but senior officers telling that, including ADGV Jammu and the rest of the officers rushing to the spot. And obviously this is something which has been taken note of. Usually convoys of this kind do not go alone. They usually have a cavalcade of sorts. But remember, as far as the ROP is concerned, the road opening party, the other safety aspects are taken into consideration. Now, in the past few months or so, we've seen there have hardly been, and we've seen the earlier of the year, beginning with the Rajouri terror attack, where Hindu minorities were targeted in the Rajouri area. But meanwhile, this is the second big attack of this particular nature which has taken place, and obviously forces will take into consideration. We've seen there have been earlier demands that forces should be removed, especially from areas which are safe and secure. But obviously, Jammu and Kashmir is obviously a different ballgame altogether. It's one step forward and two steps backwards. This is obviously seen as an escalation. But yes, the planning and plotting, where has it been carried out? Was it from across the border? Remember, as far as terror organizations are concerned, Jammu Kashmir Police intelligence sources saying that they're down to 50 and handful of foreign terrorists there. But this looks like a very, very well-planned attack. And
just stay with me. I've got access to an intelligence bureau advisory put out largely to the Jammu and Kashmir police. I just want to read from this advisory. As per reliable sources, there is growing frustration in POK authorities regarding the G20 summit to be held in Kashmir. It's also learned that announcements are being made in mosques, loudspeakers in POK exhorting volunteers to join the Jihad Brigade in Kashmir for a limited period. The announcement said that those willing to cross over will be trained and equipped with arms to disturb the G20 summit in Kashmir. Though the appeal is likely to have less impact, but the possibility of smaller groups being motivated and pushed across to this side cannot be ruled out. It is likely that there may be a surge in infiltration bids in the days to come. That's a big concern. Abhishek Bhala, the fact that there is this big G20 summit, what details do we have about the nature of this summit? There are different meetings taking place in different parts of the country. What's happening in Kashmir on the 22nd and 25th of May between that time?
Well, just last week there was a big security review done by the Home Minister himself, where several senior officers from the security apparatus were there, and they briefed the Home Minister on the kind of security measures that are being taken place. And yes, there has been a flurry of intelligence, in fact, linked to the G20 events that are taking place in Kashmir. All of these advisories, these intelligence inputs say that they could be targeted, attacked by Pakistani-backed terrorists. Now, if we are to just look at some of the recent intelligence and security reviews about the security situation in Kashmir, they have been reiterating the fact that there is, in fact, a lot of frustration amongst the terror groups, different tanzeems, because they have not been able to carry out a big, spectacular kind of terror attack like the one happened in Pulwama. Also because there is a reiteration of ceasefire for almost 2.5 years now. The LOC has been largely peaceful. It's calm. We are not hearing of the big artillery guns booming at the line of control or shelling happening in civilian areas. That too has impacted infiltration attempts from the other side, even though attempts have taken place, but they've mostly been thwarted. This is what officials have been telling us over the last few months.
So two disturbing things. One, this big terror attack, 5 army personnel killed. Remember, when there is peace for a relatively long period of time, oftentimes we've seen in the past that the level of security preparedness tends to come down just the odd notch. It's only human nature that would happen, and now terrorists have attacked this vehicle. 5 personnel are killed, and we also have a situation where there is a G20 meeting taking place in Jammu and Kashmir next month, and ahead of that you've got a very tense period where there will be efforts to infiltrate more terrorists in and try and create some havoc, because the Indian government and the Jammu and Kashmir authorities would like to show that there is a sense of normalcy, that tourism is booming, that Jammu and Kashmir is developing, and the terrorists will be determined to show that this is actually not the case. So there will be a period of this face-off which we will have to be very, very mindful of between now and say the 22nd of next month, which is when that G20 meeting will take place in Jammu and Kashmir. 5 personnel from the Rashtriya Rifles have been killed. It's being told to us that there was a grenade or more grenades that were fired. The exact nature of this attack is unknown. Was the RNR able to push back, fight back? The status of these terrorists isn't known yet either. But what we do know is that 5 army personnel of the Rashtriya Rifle have been killed in this terror attack, one of the biggest attacks in recent times. Remember, there have been pinpoint targeted killings of Abhishek minorities in the recent past in places like Rajouri and elsewhere. This kind of a major attack where 5 RNR personnel are killed in the same attack. This has actually not happened for quite a few months now.
That's right, Rahul. There had been a lull as far as these kind of targeted attacks against security forces are concerned. Yes, there have been targeted killings of Hindus in Kashmir. In fact, that's been one of the biggest security challenges for this government of late. But what I can confirm, Rahul, now just getting some more updates about this particular attack. It was in fact a single vehicle that was traveling. It was not a convoy. It was just one vehicle with 6 personnel that were traveling from Bimbar Gali to the location of their company. And that's where this attack has taken place. So it's not a convoy. It's not a situation where a huge mobilization was taking place. It's not being called largely a civilian kind of area, although in this area there are civilians residing, but it's a secluded area. Bimbar Gali is quite secluded from a civilian population. It's usually military movements that happen over here. And the confirmation that we've got now is that this was
that
just
happens oftentimes. Usually when there's a terror attack like this, now for a long time there will be no single vehicle movements allowed. But then when there is peace for a long time, exceptions are made in single vehicles move of the kind they did in this area, and that's where these 5 Rashtra Rifles personnel were killed. So the G20 meeting that I was talking about runs from the 22nd to the 24th of May. It's in Srinagar. It's a tourism working group. This is under India's G20 presidency. It's a tourism working group meeting. It will be held in Srinagar, and that's obviously something that the Pakistani terrorists and the ISI and the Pak government would be unhappy about. We're also being told at this time that Bilawal Bhutto, the foreign minister of Pakistan, will actually be travelling to Jammu and Kashmir, will actually be travelling to India for a meeting that is to happen later this year. This again is part of the G20 meetings that are happening. 4th and 5th of May, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto confirming that he will travel to the SCO meeting in Goa. This has been announced by the Pakistan Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Shiv Arur joins us. He's tracked Jammu and Kashmir security for more than 2 decades now. Shiv, a single vehicle, not a cavalcade, targeted by terrorists in the build-up to this big G20 meeting in Srinagar. And I think that as we head towards the 3rd week of May, there will be more tension in Jammu and Kashmir. At least that's what the terrorists will try and do.
Most certainly, yes, Rahul. All attempts will be made to activate cells very close to the line of control. As Abhishek was saying earlier, things have been relatively peaceful on the line of control, but the upcoming G20 meet in Srinagar, or all other activities that are taking place. There's election season in the country as well, but specifically that G20 meeting, clearly a target for terrorists to try and heat up the atmosphere in J&K. If you look at the data as far as attacks in general in J&K, Rahul, compared with 2021, which was a heavy year for attacks on the line of control, things have been relatively calm in 2022 and now. But this particular attack is actually the 3rd so far this year on an army convoy, and that's something that's very disturbing. It also proves that road opening parties, as rigorous and meticulous as they are, they cannot always, completely sanitize these extremely sensitive routes. And if you look at the terrain, Rahul, this is typical terrain that terrorists have used in the past as well to target army or paramilitary convoys. It's a hilly area. There are elevations very close to the road. It's a heavily wooded area as well. We're told that when this attack happened, it was raining quite heavily as well. So visibility would have been pretty poor, even in keeping with a road opening party. So clearly, the imprint of the Lashkar may be there. The J&K police's intelligence input to the army that we reported a few days ago, clearly evident in what we're looking at and reporting here right now.
Okay. I'm also being told that there is a hailstorm in different parts of the district, and therefore search operations to that extent are being impacted by the fact that there's heavy rain and hailstorm. They're looking for terrorists in the dense forests of Rajouri and Punch. A cordon is in place. They're looking for the terrorists who perpetrated this attack. The area has been sealed. Vehicular movement in that area has now been stopped. So vehicular movement going to where, remember, I've been to Bimbar Gali once. It's a very densely wooded area and the roads are very narrow, steep incline. So they've picked an area where the population density is relatively low and they've then sneaked out into the forest. And now the Indian Army is out to try and catch these terrorists. We'll keep tracking the story very closely here on India Today. I want to shift our attention now to Karnataka, and what we've been doing is bringing you all the latest from the battlefield. In this particular part of our broadcast, we want to focus on the numbers, the maths. I'll have some very sharp political minds joining me to talk about the state of play as it stands at this moment, and we've been working with the Data Intelligence Unit at the India Today Group to give you sharp insights into where this battle seems to be headed.
Countdown to State of War Karnataka. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down? Will defections have an impact? Will star power work? Who's winning the Karnataka political league? The big focus on Newstrack.
This is a show where we'll focus on the numbers. Last week, we brought you the Karnataka Political League. We looked at the anti-incumbency that had built against the BJP state government. On this week's show, we'd look at the BJP strategy and why the Bharatiya Janata Party thinks they're still in the fight and how they hope to win this election, despite the fact that popular consensus at the moment suggests that there is anti-incumbency against the state government and that the Congress is in with a chance. Remember, from the BJP's perspective, this is an election which is more about management than it is about mahal. So, an exclusive sneak peek into the BJP strategy and then a very fine panel of experts to try and decode whether that will be enough for the BJP to be able to hold fort. Joining me on this broadcast, I want to welcome first Yogendra Yadav from Swaraj India. He's associated in Karnataka with Edulu Karnataka. He wants it to be known very clearly that he has skin in the game and is seeking regime change. We've got with us from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Member of Parliament GVL Narasimha Rao, and I've been insisting that he's here in this broadcast purely in his capacity as a psephologist, and he's not allowed to do politics and just stick to the numbers that we put out. Rajiv Gowda is the chairperson of the All India Congress Committee's research department, very sharp political mind himself. He's joining us on this broadcast, as also is one of India's leading psephologists, Sanjay Kumar, director at Lokniti CSDS. R.K. Upadhyay is one of the top political scientists and columnists out of Karnataka. And for the first time, we have Devendra Shukla. He's with Matrice Communications. They've done an opinion poll in Karnataka. He'll tell us what he and his team have been picking up. I want to start with the story of the week, which is the fact that now in the northern part of Karnataka, the BJP has seen some defections in the form of Sevadi and in the form of Jagdish Shettar. And the Congress hopes that these defections could give it additional momentum. The BJP, remember, thinks that this is dead wood, which is why their tickets were cut. They don't think that these leaders add very much to their base, and they're very happy to see them go. I want to go across just to give you a sense of how the BJP actually did in the last elections in these regions of northern Karnataka, in the Mumbai Karnataka region, in the Hyderabad Karnataka region, and then we'll look at what may happen on the back of these defections and whether or not the likes of Jagdish Shettar joining the Congress makes a real difference in the polls or not. So let me just pull out the region-wise map of Karnataka, and there are two regions in particular that we're looking at: Hyderabad Karnataka and Mumbai Karnataka. I'll start with Mumbai Karnataka, and what you have on your screen are the assembly tally from the last time. Remember, the BJP in the last elections had 30 seats, the Congress 17 in Mumbai Karnataka. It's traditionally and typically been a stronghold of the Bharatiya Janata Party in recent elections. Then we'll come to Hyderabad Karnataka, where the Congress did better. Even though the Congress came second in the last elections, the Congress in the Hyderabad Karnataka region was actually ahead, picking up 21 seats versus the BJP's 15. So this is the starting point as we get into polling on the 10th of May. And I want to start by asking Yogendra Yadav first on the issue of the impact that these defections could potentially make. The BJP says, we're doing what we did in Gujarat. The Trinamool did this, for example, in West Bengal. Get rid of your old guard, which has anti-incumbency against it, to the extent possible. Bring in younger faces. The voters will appreciate that there are newer faces who've been given an opportunity, and that the vote bank, like the Lingayats, will stay with the BJP, and the likes of Jagdish Shettar and Sevadi don't matter very much. What's your thought on this?
Rahul, I should begin by thanking you for inviting me to the show and by clarifying. I hope you did that, but I couldn't share that very clearly. I do not pretend to be a neutral psephologist. I'm very happy to see Sanjay Kumarji, who's a psephologist and is non-aligned. I don't pretend to be one. We are involved in a civil society coalition called Edulu Karnataka, which is about awakening Karnataka and to the challenge of getting rid of this regime. So please, forget that I'm a psephologist. Number two, the point that I wanted to make about the specific question of defections that you mentioned, I think there are two kinds of effects. One effect is the number of votes that people who shift from one party to the other bring. We don't know that entirely very clearly this time. And it often happens that people who shift from one party to other do not always bring the votes from their parent party. So we don't yet know. I would not make any big claims. In any case, I can see Professor Rajiv Gowda, who knows these things infinitely better than me because he's from Karnataka. I would think let's focus on a larger effect. The other effect is very serious demoralization. And from whatever I'm hearing from the BJP camp, from Karnataka watchers, people who are not from any political party, people who are working on the ground, and I've come to this program from a meeting of the ground workers spread across Karnataka right now, Bengaluru. And the one thing that comes out from every corner of Karnataka is very serious demoralization of BJP workers. People have given up on the ground. They are saying, yaar, ye to shuru se hi khatam ho gaya khel. And that is so BJP begins this particular election now, especially in the wake of what happened in the last 7-10 days, with very, very serious psychological disadvantage. And that itself, I'm sure my friend Narasimha Rao, who's claiming to be neutral, I wish he was not to claim such things. I mean,
No, he's not claiming neutrality. He's only got his cephalogist data hat on. He's not claiming neutrality. He's as biased as can be. He's only saying, I'll stick to the data on the show.
No, I saw his face on the camera and I was reminding of older days. So I'm sure he would endorse the point that I'm making. Okay. That is that this very serious psychological impact itself can shift 2 to 3% vote. And remember, that's all the Congress needs to score a edge into an emphatic victory, which is where it seems to be headed right now in Karnataka.
Okay, so you're thinking that there will be an emphatic victory. I want to show you the margin as it stood to give you a vote percentage sense, because Yogendra Yadav makes the point that defections could impact optics, could impact the level of morale of party workers, and that could lead to a 2 and 3% swing. If you look at the vote share of the BJP and the Congress in Karnataka, in the last assembly elections, the BJP actually had lesser votes as a percentage than the Congress, 36 versus 38. The BJP got more seats because their votes were more concentrated. If you look at the number of seats won by both parties, the Congress had only 80. The BJP, when results were counted, originally had 104. And that's because the BJP's vote share was more concentrated. The Congress's was dispersed across the state. They had a 2% advantage. Yogendra Yadav predicts that this could lead to a 2%, 3% change in Mahal. And he thinks that's all that's required. I have one data set that I want to put out on our screen right now, which is to do with the percentage of defectors winning. So if you see that, we'll start with the BJP, the Congress and the JDS. In the last elections, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, coming up on your screen right now, there were 58 defectors, 27 of them won. So 58 defectors came into the BJP, 27 of them won. That's a 47% strike rate of defectors who joined the BJP. Let's now look at the defectors who come into the Congress and how they fared. The Congress has seen some people coming in from parties like the BJP in this election. 20 defectors in the last election, 7 of them won, a 35% strike rate, lesser than that of the BJP, but a 35% strike rate for those defectors who came in. The Janata Dal Secular had 21 defectors, only 3 of those won. That's a strike rate of about 14.3%. So, and I also want to play out Jagdish Shettar's report card from the Hubli-Dharwad Central Constituency. If you look at it, he won in 2018 with a 51% vote share, a victory margin of 14.42. In 2013, he had a 49.61% vote share, victory margin of 15.13. In 2008, 54 with a victory margin of 24.24. Professor Rajiv Gowda, the BJP thinks the likes of Jagdish Shettar have seen their prime, and that's in the past, and that their defection will make no difference to the BJP's stronghold over the Lingayat votes. They're saying, but just as well that they're going, people will think Modi koshish kar raha hai, naye log la raha hai, is giving fresh faces a chance, and that they think, like Gujarat and elsewhere, will actually work to their favor.
Sorry, Rahul, that analysis is totally incorrect. Basically, the BJP in Karnataka draws a tremendous amount of support from the Lingayat community, and the Lingayat community has looked up to its leaders, Sri Yediyurappa and Sri Jagdish Shettar and Sri Lakshman Savadi, who was Deputy Chief Minister. The other earlier two were Chief Ministers. These are not light positions. These are serious positions that command a tremendous amount of respect. What the BJP has done this time is it has eliminated all three of these leaders and essentially sent a signal to the Lingayat community that.
But that's not true. Yediyurappa is still leading the campaign. No, the Prime Minister is still holding his hand. So you can't really, I mean, you're playing this story that he's been sidelined. That's actually not correct.
I think you're falling for their optics. You're falling for their optics too easily, my friend. Yediyurappa has been sidelined. They gave him hell before they gave his son a seat. Very few of his candidates have been accommodated. The signal is very, very clear to the Lingayat community that their established leadership is passé, is finished. Okay, so now you may talk about future leadership. Future leadership doesn't emerge in one election. You know, if the BJP is playing a long game with the Lingayat community and saying, okay, we're going to build people up, in 20 years you'll have leaders and chief ministers, nobody's going to wait for them. That's the basic situation. So across northern Karnataka and some pockets of southern Karnataka where the Lingayats are decisive in terms of elections, you will see that there is going to be a massive shift from that supporting the BJP to supporting the Congress. Yogendra Yadavji's 2-3% shift is going to be an underestimate, and you're going to see that 150 seats that Rahul Gandhi asked for, that's going to be an underestimate this election, just because that's the way the numbers play out.
Okay, so you're talking about being able to break the BJP stronghold on the Lingayat vote bank. I want to show our viewers data from CSDS's polls in past assembly elections in Karnataka, which essentially say that in 2018 the BJP had about 60% of the Lingayat votes. In 2008 it had about 61% of the Lingayat votes. In 2013 that vote share came down, but that's because Yediyurappa had formed his own party, the KJP, at that time. But largely it's been in the 60s, and in Lok Sabha elections, it goes up even further. In the last election, it was stated to be in the high 80s. So that's how strong their command over the Lingayat vote bank ordinarily is. I want to go across to GVL Narasimha Rao. Yogendra Yadav's theory that the optics are bad because you've got people, typically a party as strong as the BJP, as people from other parties, from the Trinamool, the Congress and the others jumping to the BJP. Very rarely do you see, since 2014, a senior leader like Jagdish Shettar, who's been former chief minister, leave. He says whether it actually impacts vote share or not is inconsequential. More importantly, mahal kharab hota. You know, a lot of the elections about mahal, and all that we've seen in the past few days has the mahal turning against the BJP. How do you counter Yogendra Yadav? GVL.
You see, the mahal only has an impact on television discussions. This so-called mahal does not impact the voting pattern on the ground, and that too for a party like the BJP, which has a very strong cadre base. A lot of you wrongly perceive or think that Congress is a cadre-based party. Congress party, to my mind, does not have any cadres. Its leaders have cadres. When individual leaders of the Congress leave, cadres leave along with them. In the BJP, the cadres are with the party. The leaders might stay or go. They don't go with the leader. So therefore, certainly a leader like Jagdish Shettarji leaving the BJP is not something that the BJP is happy about. But its impact, if at all, it will be limited to that one particular seat. If at all, that also I'm saying, if the cadre, because it's a safe seat.
But you know, you would accept that the cadre of the BJP in Karnataka is not as big as a percent as the cadre of the BJP in a state like Gujarat or Uttar Pradesh, because the BJP's gains in Karnataka are largely a new phenomena. You've had many defectors coming to your party. You do have a cadre base, but not as strong as that in the Hindi heartland, GVL.
No, but relatively we have a much stronger cadre base than any other party. It's all, we are talking about a state in cadre strengths of relatively different parties. Please understand, if a Congress leader leaves, cadre leaves with him. In the BJP, if a leader leaves, he leaves alone. He doesn't carry the cadre with him because the cadre has an ideological connect with the BJP.
Yogendra Yadav has his hand up. I'm going to get him to give a counter to this, that the BJP is a cadre-based party, and therefore the departure even of a high-profile neta, and we've seen this in the case of a Kalyan Singh or even an Uma Bharti, who are much bigger netas than Jagdish Shettar ever was, didn't really impact the vote structure of the BJP. The neta goes, the cadre stays.
The cadres are linked to the ideology, not to the individual.
Yogendra Yadav ji.
I first wanted to clarify, Rahul, that when I spoke about 2 to 3% swing for Congress, it was not from 2018. It is from what all the opinion polls have shown till last week, which is that Congress already enjoys anything between 4 to 6% margin. So I was saying, on top of that already existing 4 to 6% margin, Congress could get 2 percentage points or similar advantage because of the. Now, to the point that Narasimha Rao has made, I think it's a fair thing to say nationally.
Go on, sir. We hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Yes, sir. So now to the point that Narasimha Rao ji had made, I think it's a fair distinction to draw. BJP is largely a cadre-based party, and Congress's cadre has been exceptionally weak. Although I should underline the fact that in Karnataka, this distinction is much, much weaker. Please remember, Congress in Karnataka is still one of the deepest entrenched party for Congress anywhere in the country. So if you look at Congress around the country, Karnataka is probably one of the places where it's more deeply entrenched than anywhere. And BJP, compared to BJP elsewhere in the country, is most weakly entrenched in Karnataka. So let's remember that the contrast is not that big. And number two, please remember that the point about percentage of defectors who succeed, that varies from the general hawa in each election. Last time, there was no hawa for Congress. If anything, there was a negative hawa for Congress. When you have negative hawa, people who shift to you lose. When you have positive hawa, then people who shift for you tend to win. So that figure might change. And finally, I just want to ask, not just Narasimha Rao ji, I want to ask you, Rahul. I want to ask anyone who knows anything about Karnataka, please tell me, are BJP workers and leaders not demoralized? It is not a private, deep investigation that I'm bringing to you. It's out there on the street. It's out there on the face of everyone. It's out there on the front pages of newspaper. How are we denying something so elementary as that?
Now, morale is difficult
Rahul,
to quantify. I thought this was more about the
Rahul,
data, but Yogendra Yadav bowling a googly. Let GVL Narasimha Rao counter that, because we can't let that
One second. Rahul,
stay unanswered. Just 1 second. Professor Gowda, I'm coming to you. Since he says BJP cadre seems dispirited, we've seen protests, we've seen workers out on the streets. He's adding all of that up to say your workers are demoralized. GVL?
No, Rahul, momentarily, whenever a big leader leaves or there is a disturbance, it does cause a little disturbance. But it doesn't take much time to settle down. It doesn't take more than maybe a day or two to settle down. I will repeat this point because it's important. My cadres, the BJP cadres, are committed to Ram Mandir. Jagdish Shettar going to Congress, can he shout Jai Shri Ram? Will he have the authority to shout Jai Shri Ram in Congress? I doubt very much. My cadres, the BJP cadres, are committed to abrogation of Article 370. They are committed to Hindutva philosophy. And Jagdish Shettar ji has gone to a party which believes possibly in love jihad.
Okay.
So certainly,
Rajiv Gowda wants to come in.
It doesn't help.
On the issue of
individuals who go to parties which have diametrically opposite ideological backgrounds.
Professor Gowda?
See, Mr. Narasimha Rao is totally wrong. If you just look at the numbers, and this show is about the numbers, in 2013, when Mr. Yediyurappa broke away, the cadres, one big chunk went with him. 10% of the vote share of the BJP went with Yediyurappa. What happened to all this cadre loyalty and his affection for love jihad or whatever he's talking about?
No, but Yediyurappa is still the tallest leader of the Lingayat community. He's still batting on the BJP ticket.
The basic point
he hasn't jumped, and Shaista is no Yediyurappa.
When leaders leave, Okay.
No, Yediyurappa ji is committed to the same
they went with
ideology.
Yediyurappa, didn't they?
Let Professor
so what
Gowda
is this
speak.
ideology and cadres? That doesn't work here in Karnataka. Please stick to wherever you are. Yeah.
But Professor Gowda, the tallest Lingayat leader, is still padding up and batting for the BJP. He left and damaged them in 2013 with both realized the mistake. But Shettar is no Yediyurappa.
But Yediyurappa also is no longer the Yediyurappa that he once was. He's been hobbled, he's been crippled, he's been treated terribly, and just by some chance they've managed to, he's been able to beg for a seat for his son and maybe one more person. They've totally sidelined him. They're just using him as a prop, and basically the people of his community very clearly understand that the BJP has let down the Lingayat community tremendously. Now, that is just one part of the story. The other part of the story is that every community, if you want to analyze on the basis of communities and castes, is also disappointed with the BJP, not disappointed, disgusted with the 40% Sarkara, with their terrible governance, with this, you saw what Mr. Narasimha Rao brought up, love jihad, all sorts of fake issues that have no relevance to modern day Karnataka.
Okay, I want to show our viewers this data set about the number of seats.
Election is not about development. He said it's a fight between Tipu Sultan and Savarkar. Sorry,
okay. This show is not about Tipu Sultan or Savarkar. It's about the data. Let's just stick to that, Professor Gowda. No, one second. Our team and I have worked really hard on putting different data sets together, which I think explain the election and the significance of different factors. I just want to stay very focused on the data. I want to bring up next the number of seats dominated by particular communities, which gives you a sense of why the Lingayat community is as important as it is, and the percentage of that community as an overall percent of the state's voting population. So the Lingayats are considered, these aren't specific percentages, but considered to be about 14% of the state's population, and they dominate up to 76 seats. Now, these are estimates, but they are broad estimates, and everybody typically goes by these estimates. The Vokaligas, about 11% of the state's population and dominate about 54 seats, and therefore they are as important. The Kurubas are 7%. Just the Kurubas dominate 3 seats, but they are fragmented and dispersed across the state and therefore significant. And I want to go across now on this issue to Sanjay Kumar. Remember, Professor Sanjay Kumar leads a formidable team of researchers at CSDS Lokniti. They are academics and therefore don't really have any personal skin in the game. We've heard from people who we know which side they are batting for. We haven't heard from you so far, Sanjay Kumar. Which way do you think the winds in Karnataka are blowing?
If we look at the vote percentage of Congress, and over the last 4 elections, Congress is sitting comfortably with, say, about 34-35% vote. A 4% swing in favor of Congress, and I am calculating in the context of, say, 2% away from BJP and 2% away from JDS. So if there is a 4% swing in favor of Congress, this can give Congress a comfortable majority to the range of, say, 135 to 140 seats. This could be possible because if you look at the support base of Congress, it is very widespread. It is not like in many other states, because Congress gets vote from what we used to talk about. Congress has a coalition, rainbow coalition in the 90s and 80s. That still remains the case in Karnataka. So Congress gets votes from large
No, so are you suggesting that your research is showing that the Congress's vote share, which is say about 38% in the last elections, could potentially go up past 40 in this poll? That's what you're broadly picking up?
No, I have not done any poll, and I'm not saying that Congress vote share will go up to 42 or 43%. The limited point I'm making is that in order to make a comfortable victory in Karnataka, Congress only needs 3% to 4% swing in its favor.
No, but can I say that a lot of this Panditri, Professor Kumar, is based on a time when the BJP big guns haven't come out to the battlefield yet. Post the 20th is when Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, the BJP President JP Nadda and the others really swamped the battlefield. The Prime Minister has got multiple back-to-back rallies, road shows lined up. How much of a factor could that be, the heavy artillery that the BJP brings to the battlefield in the last 20 days?
Oh, no, absolutely. That's going to be a very important factor for BJP. But when I was saying that it is possible for Congress to have a 4% swing in its favor, this is based on the situation on the ground as of today. Yes, I agree that the names which you have already taken, when they come for the campaign, they can make a huge difference for
Let me
BJP.
put that same question to Yogendra Yadav, because a lot of the analysis is based at this moment when the nomination process is still on. The tickets were decided. There was a bit of intransigence in the party after that. That's now being settled. And this is where the BJP brings the full might of the most formidable election machine modern India has seen. How much of a difference could the presence of the Prime Minister and his key generals in the battlefield in a concentrated fashion in the last 20 days make to the end outcome on the 13th? Yogendra Yadav.
Rahul, this would have been relevant if this was the first time BJP was using all this artillery, as you call it, in the assembly election. It so happens that BJP has used it every single time. So the 38% vote that BJP had last time takes this artillery into account. It is by using all this that BJP has reached where it reached. Please remember that after using this artillery and everything else, BJP has never got a simple majority in Karnataka ever before. And the only way in BJP has formed the government is through that dirty backdoor Operation Kamala. So please remember, this is not for the first time that Mr. Modi is going to campaign. This is not for the first time that Mr. Amit Shah is going to campaign. Yes, this might be the first time that Mr. JP Nadda is going to campaign in a big way, but I'm sure in the studio, you may not find anyone, not even from the BJP, who would say Mr. Nadda is going to swing votes in Karnataka. He has already taken a few votes away from BJP in Karnataka by saying what he has said. So all these are standard given factors. And if there are some artillery on the part of the BJP, I'm sure Professor Rajiv Gowda would tell you the artillery on the part of the Congress. I do not know of any leader in Karnataka who can draw the kind of crowds that Mr. Siddaramaiah can.
Okay, let me put that question to R.K. Upadhyay. The comparison between what we'll see... Okay, let GVL... Because I've got guests I haven't had a chance to go to, so I'm keen on going to them.
Comment.
Okay, very quickly. Yes, sir, go on.
Yeah, you see, our campaign is certainly led by the Honorable Prime Minister, who is certainly going to be the face of the campaign. But that does not take away the fact that our organizational leaders, be it National President Mr. Nadda, who they have a big role to play. Just because you don't like BJP, Yogendra, it's not expected that you will make such uncharitable comments. He certainly has strengthened the organization. He leads the party in an organizational way, and everybody contributes to the campaign. Certainly, some leaders become face of the campaign, some become organizational leaders. And in another important point, Rahul, I think we have been talking about caste here. Lingayat. You see, BJP is in power, Lingayat will be a chief minister. Is the Congress willing to say there will be a Lingayat chief minister? I want Gowda to answer this. Certainly, the Lingayats will vote lock, stock and barrel for the BJP because the only chance of having a chief minister from Lingayat community is with the BJP, and that's what matters. It does not matter which second, third rung leaders lead.
Okay, you know what? We did a conversion of Lok Sabha vote share into assembly trends. So what the BJP needs to do in the next 3 weeks somehow is to make this about Prime Minister Modi and to bring in national factors to somehow turn this into, like they did in Gujarat, a battle of prestige and bring that trump card to the play, which is Prime Minister Modi. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP had a 51.75% vote share, the Congress 32.11%, the JDS about 10%. Converted into assembly trends, the BJP would have won 170 out of the 224 seats in Karnataka. The Congress would have won 36, the JDS 11. So they somehow, remember this is an assembly election, so it's not really a national election. Most voters can tell that difference, but the BJP will seek to make this as much as possible about more than just Karnataka, more than just local state government-led issues. R.K. Upadhyay, this point about the comparison between the firepower that the BJP will now bring, every minister being sent there, leaders from different parts of the country, in smaller districts, in towns, micromanaging the campaign, the Prime Minister himself, Amit Shah, Yogi Adityanath, JP Nadda, the entire galaxy of BJP top guns up against the likes largely of Siddaramaiah, Shivakumar and the Mallikarjun Kharge and the Congress Karnataka brass. The argument Yogendra Yadav makes is that the Congress does have good local leaders in Karnataka who are popular versus the BJP's big guns. To what extent will the big guns of the BJP be able to sway the results on the 10th of May?
Rahul, I think it's going to make a very, very big difference. You know, I mean, just now I was hearing Yogendra Yadav ji saying that BJP cadre is demoralized and it's dispirited and all that. I'm just returning from Hubli. You know, just 5 hours ago I was in Hubli and people are going about in a normal way. There was a life is going on. So it's not that, you know, people are morose because Jagdish Shettar has been removed from this. So the fact of the matter is that, you know, people like Jagdish Shettar depend on the party. I mean, he doesn't have a charisma of his own. He's not a mass leader like, Yediyurappa ji. So the impact of his expulsion or impact of his resignation is going to be very, very limited. And people like, you know, now the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and Yogi Adityanath, all these people reaching out there is definitely going to make a big difference. You know, definitely.
No, but take for example another election that's happening at the same time, the UP the UP urban body elections. There the mahal is in favor of the BJP already. The argument being made, or the question being asked is whether all the mahal that we've seen somehow, at least so far where this match is being commented on at this moment, the mahal doesn't seem to have come in the BJP's favor in quite the same way. How big a factor is that? And do you think that could change once the big guns join the battlefield?
I think once the big guns enter, it is going to change dramatically. Because, you know, people are waiting for these national leaders to come and, you know, campaign.
But the counter to what you are saying is that once an election is decided, once voters have largely made up their mind, it's very rare that the mahal changes entirely. It can change on the margins. Very rarely do we see the ball swing completely the other way if it's swinging in one direction originally.
No, absolutely. You see, I mean, BJP is fighting against tremendous odds. Because, you know, in 38 years, a sitting government has never been repeated in Karnataka. It was last in 1985 when Ramakrishna Hegde, heading the Janata Party government, was able to, you know, get a second consecutive term. Since then, there have been 7 general elections and the governments have been changed. So, which shows that, you know, BJP is not going to have it easy. It's going to be, you know, tremendous odds are against the BJP.
No.
But the fact that, you know, it's putting up a fight, and I feel that, you know, with another 3 weeks left, things could change. Right now, I would say the Congress is ahead, definitely ahead of the, BJP, but they are not crossing the magic figure. So that is where I feel that, you know, this could gradually change as the days progress.
Okay, I want to go across to Devendra Shukla at Matrice Communications. They've done an opinion poll recently. आप अपने opinion poll के बारे में थोड़ा बताएं. जितना मैंने देखा, उसमें जो common perception है अब तक, उसके विपरीत आपका पोल ये कह रहा है कि आपके हिसाब से भाजपा कर्नाटक में जीत रही है. क्यों और कैसे?
नहीं, कॉमन परसेप्शन से विपरीत हमारा पोल नहीं है. अगर राहुल जी आपने डेटा को ठीक से देखा होगा, तो जैसे अभी योगेंद्र यादव कह रहे थे कि कांग्रेस अगर 40% वोट पा जाए तो वो यहाँ पहुँच सकती है. और जो लास्ट टाइम का जो वोट शेयर था कांग्रेस का 2018, 2013 और 2008 के डेटा को हमें देखना चाहिए पार्टी वाइज. अगर मैं ये कहूँ कि 2018 में कांग्रेस का वोट शेयर 39% था और कांग्रेस का वोट शेयर जो है 2008 में वो 34% था या 35% था. और कांग्रेस की सीटें 2018 और 2008 में सेम थी, 80 ही तब थी और 80 ही इस बार भी थी. बीच में एक इलेक्शन आया 2013 जिसमें कि 122 सीटें वो लेके आए, लेकिन वो जो वोट शेयर था वो 34 और 39 के कहीं बीच में 36 पे था. और ये 122 का जो आंकड़ा उनका आया था, ये तब आया था जब येदियुरप्पा बीजेपी से रिबेल करके अपनी खुद की एक पार्टी उन्होंने फॉर्म की थी. और बीजेपी और उनकी जो पार्टी का वोट शेयर था वो अगर कंबाइंडली देखा जाए तो वो 30 के आसपास आ रहा था और कांग्रेस उस समय 36% पे थी. तो जो 122 का फिगर कांग्रेस के लिए आया था वो एग्जैक्टली किसी 36% के वोट शेयर के कारण नहीं आया था कि 34 से 2% बढ़ गए तो वो 122 पे पहुंच गए, ऐसा नहीं था. दूसरी एक चीज है कि अब अगर बीजेपी के आंकड़ों को हम 2018, 2013 और 2008 में देखें तो बीजेपी का वोट शेयर 2018 में 36% था, 2008 में 33% था। तो अगर क्या कहते हैं सिर्फ ये मान लिया जाए कि बढ़े हुए वोट शेयर पे ज्यादा सीटें आती हैं, तो इसका मतलब है कि बीजेपी को 2008 की तुलना में 2018 में जो है सीटें वो ज्यादा आनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन ये तो हुआ नहीं। बीजेपी की सीटें 110 से घट के 104 पे घट के चली आई थी।
आपका जो इस बार का ओपिनियन पोल है उसके बारे में बताएं थोड़ा।
आपने जब डिस्कशन की देखिए, मेरा जो ओपिनियन पोल था उसमें हमने कांग्रेस को सबसे बड़ी पार्टी के रूप में दिखाया था वोट शेयर के टर्म्स में, और मैं अभी भी उस पर स्टेबल हूं कि कांग्रेस जो है वो वोट शेयर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सबसे बड़ी पार्टी रहेगी। लेकिन अगर आप रीजन वाइज जो है वोट शेयर को देखेंगे तो 3 ऐसे रीजन हैं जहां पे कि बीजेपी ने कांग्रेस को पीछे लास्ट टाइम भी छोड़ा था और वो इस बार भी छोड़ रहे हैं। तो बीजेपी को सीटों का या वोट शेयर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत ज्यादा लॉस नहीं होने जा रहा है। दूसरी एक चीज है, जेडीएस को एक फैक्टर के रूप में, एक प्रमुख फैक्टर के रूप में एक विशेष रीजन में आपको करके देखना है, और वहां पे सबसे ज्यादा उसकी जो तगड़ी फाइट होती है वो कांग्रेस के साथ है। तो ये बेसिकली जो इलेक्शन है वो 2 चीजों पे बहुत डिपेंड करेगा। एक कि जेडीएस का परफॉर्मेंस मैसूर रीजन में क्या 2018 की तरीके ही रहता है और क्या उससे कांग्रेस उसी तरीके से प्रभावित होती है या नहीं। दूसरी चीज ये है कि जो अभी ये डिस्कशन में आ रहा है कि बीजेपी को लोगों के रिबेल करने से नुकसान होगा या नहीं, तो देखिए ये तो दोनों ही तरीके के एग्जाम्पल हैं कि बीजेपी में जब झारखंड इलेक्शन की अगर आप बात करें तो वहां पे रघुवर दास के खिलाफ उन्हीं की पार्टी के एक लीडर ने जो टिकट न मिलने पे इलेक्शन लड़ा था और उनको हराया था। लेकिन उत्तराखंड जैसे स्टेट में जहां पे कि एक बड़े नंबर जो हैं लोगों के काटे गए सीनियर लीडर्स के थे, वहां पे कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं।
Okay, so you've made 2 important points, the role of the Janata Dal secular and the fact that what happens in the last 20 odd days. So let me put this question to Sanjay Kumar on the Janata Dal secular. Do you see the JDS largely hold on to where they were on the screen right now? The JDS vote share in the last assembly elections about 18%. Remember, a lot of that vote comes from the 64 odd seats of old Mysore. When converted into seats, the JDS starts out in this Karnataka election with 37 seats. In 2019, in the Lok Sabha elections, the BJP stormed even old Mysore and the JDS was reduced to a rump. The BJP thinks they've penetrated old Mysore quite a bit between the last elections and now, and they may do well like they did in the Lok Sabha elections. Or do you think it'll revert back to the typical formulation in old Mysore, which is JDS versus Congress? Or do you think BJP would have an important role to play in old Mysore this time? Sanjay Kumar.
Rahul, as I said, we have not done any polls, so it's not based on any poll. But my own sense is that if I look at the last 4 assembly elections, JDS always has a sizable percentage of vote, and that is roughly in the range of, say, 15 to 20% vote. So my own sense is that JDS may be able to retain those 15-16% vote. Their performance may be may not be as good as it was in 2018 or previous election, because at the moment the perception which is building in Karnataka is that it is a 1-to-1 fight between BJP and Congress. So if that is a perception which is building, then we might see some shift in favor of Congress, which might affect the JDS. JDS more or less will hold on, but the tally might go down by few seats.
You know, I don't know about you who are watching, but I really enjoyed this show. This is what I think TV should be about. Sharp viewpoints, argued incisively with data, with ideas, rather than a slinging match, tu meme, which makes absolutely no sense. We had an interesting exchange of views, a lot to think about. And remember, this is really the halfway point in some senses, because you've got the slogovers still left. Who's able to score more in the slogovers? Can the BJP pull it back from here, or can the Congress hold on to where they've reached right now without conceding no balls and wides? That's something the Congress has done in the past. Remember, they're up against a very formidable election machine. This is exciting. This is why we're so charged up, and this is also why we're going to Bengaluru tomorrow, because on Saturday we have the big India Today Karnataka roundtable, from the Home Minister to the Congress President, the BJP Chief Minister, Shivakumar, Siddaramaiah. The entire galaxy of central and state level leaders will be with us at the India
today, Karnataka Roundtable this Saturday. Do tune in for that. We have a special show tomorrow as well on the news track. So a lot coming up. We're really charged up and excited. Thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you in Karnataka. Goodbye.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-presented by General Air Conditioners, the Extreme Machine.
Co-presented by Cool Fans, smart inside, stylish outside.
XP100, India's first 100-octane premium petrol.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point, as Rahul Gandhi faces a setback in the Surat court, is he still the BJP's target number one? Also the 2002 Naroda Gam massacre, all are acquitted. Did no one kill anyone during the 2002 riots? We'll ask all the questions that don't get asked on other shows on the news today. But first, the 9 headlines at 9. An army vehicle attacked by Jaish-backed outfit in Rajouri. 5 army men killed. Army chief briefs Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. All accused, including ex-Gujarat Minister Maya Kodnani and Babu Bajrangi, acquitted in the Naroda Gam massacre case. 11 people had died in the massacre in 2002. Big setback for disqualified MP Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case. Surat court rejects a plea for stay on conviction. Upholds a 2-year jail term. Congress to move High Court next. Congress ally NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar meets businessman Gautam Adani. TMC slams Pawar, says prioritize good of the nation before personal relations. Mahua Moitra makes that comment. Congress plays Kannadiga pride card after BJP chief Nadda says elect BJP and continue getting PM's blessings. BJP asserts double-engine government is in the best interest of Karnataka. Big win for EPS in Tamil Nadu. Election Commission recognizes him as the AIDMK General Secretary. 2-leaf symbol also allotted to EPS-led faction of the party. Police recreate Atik crime scene in Prayagraj. Narco test of his killers likely. In a big confession, shooters admit to link with the Bhati gang. Khalistani fugitive Amritpal's wife stopped at Amritsar airport. She was en route to London. Cops say Kirandeep barred from flying as a precautionary measure. And Elon Musk's Starship, the world's biggest rocket, explodes during test flight. The rocket explodes